Recording. Eric of the future Eric, if you will.
Eric, you're not allowed to know what this is in the future. So we'll keep talking over what you're trying to say.
Yeah, fuck you, future Eric.
Scream, first episode in Cultober.
Ben loves you.
I thought you were getting ready to say Cocktober. I'm like, whoa. Not that kind of show.
Cocktober.
I mean, we could make a hard left turn for Cultober
Listen,
real quick if we want.
You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome everyone to Cultober. All right. Welcome everyone. This is the first Cult Talk Net exclusive for Cultober, I believe, right?
Yes.
Cultober.
Actually, I think this is our launching video period for Cultober. I believe.
Yeah.
Just the first of all the things, huh?
All of
First
the
of-
all of the holiday turds we're getting ready to dump on people's front porches.
Oh.
Gypsy's here whining at the very beginning. Fan-fucking-tastic, dog.
Was it at the poop joke or?
No.
It was for the
Probably.
candy.
Boy,
Aw.
and these folks have no idea what's coming unless there's a schedule out. Then they might know.
There is.
They might have a clue.
They might
Would
have
you
a
get
clue.
off my... I'm being mauled.
But today we are watching or talking about Scream,
Yes.
1996.
Wes Craven.
We all scream
Aw.
for
You
Scream.
shut the fuck up.
This
Damn it.
movie is as
Nice.
old as me. Because guess what else happened in 1996?
Other movies.
Fuck you.
Wait, no, you're
Fuck all of you.
but-
Actually,
That's
I
9
was
months ago.
conceived in 1995. My mom found out she was pregnant with me on Christmas Eve.
Gypsy.
Wow, what a kind of a New Year's baby.
Not,
Well, you
Not
were in our
really.
New Year.
I don't know. Wait,
When
what?
was it?
Hmm?
What year did you say? I've lost it.
I was born in 96,
I
but
know,
my
they're
mom.
Moving
How
on.
the hell
Eric,
did we get on this off
how
ramp?
about you give us some film stats for
All
Scream
right.
1996?
I think I will do that. So I'll scream these names out in honor of the movie.
You don't need to scream
Oh,
them.
fine. Wes
You can use a
Craven.
heightened voice tone if you want.
Okay. Wes Craven.
Oh my god.
Directed, written by Kevin Williamson.
That's
Aw.
good. You abandoned that shit real quick.
I have mercy. Don't worry. The producers were Kathy Conrad and Carrie Woods. We have a starring list of David Arquette. Oh, gosh.
WCW champion.
David
Yeah, there
Arquette,
we
Courtney
go.
Cox, Nev Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, Drew Barrymore, and a list of others making an appearance in this motherfucker, including
Oh.
my favorite, Jamie Kennedy.
Took my job for a moment. It's fine. Cinematography by Mark Irwin. Edited by Patrick Lucier. Fuck these names. Why do I always do this?
I don't know why you do this.
At a runtime of 100.
Oh, I forgot Matthew Lillard.
Oh, there we go. Matthew Lillard. Anyone want to take a stab at the
Oh.
budget?
Oh, I do know because I have some interesting facts. It does tell me
Ah.
it was a low budget film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was low.
$3 million.
Okay. Bailey, what do you think?
I think low budget is probably relative though.
It is. Yes.
It is relative. Yes.
7
Okay.
7 million.
Okay. Michael, did you already see it? Do
No,
you have
it
a
can't
guess?
be 3. yeah.
It doesn't tell me here.
Okay, take a
I
stab.
mean,
I do think it was like a
relative low.
relative budget. So
Yeah.
like
I'm
it's
gonna
still like 10 million or something
Ah,
probably.
damn it. I was just getting ready to say
You're
10
about to
million.
say that? Okay. So
I'll
we're
do 10.5, Bob.
You
10.5,
already said
10.5.
3.
Yeah, but
You can't. There's no turnsies backsies.
We
absolutely
haven't declared
fucking
it yet.
can.
Do you want to change yours?
No, because I'm faithful with
You're
the
gonna
number
You're
7.
going to stand by it? Okay.
I'm going to stand by my vote.
14-15
Damn!
million. So
I
we
was
undershot
halfway
a little
there.
bit. Yeah, you were.
Whoa.
Guess what the box office was?
Oh, it had to be great.
For-
50.
I was going to say 50, 55, 60 maybe.
Okay.
I could see 60 million.
I'll say 45 so I can be the closest without going over.
173
God,
million.
Oh, I was going to
Fucking
say 75
Christ.
million.
Should've said
Jesus.
75 million. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Man.
175 million. Good.
175. Jesus.
I guess I was just too young to realize how much of a sensation this film was.
Yeah.
No. So this is the only film that I have a memory of hearing about and being like, I need to see this mythical film.
Right.
Scream was the only one that I ever had anything about because they were like, oh no, at the very beginning, like very opening, there's people hanging in trees with their guts hanging out, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And man, I wonder how much of that is because of the move they pulled with Halle Berry. You know what I mean? Get the
Who? You mean Drew Barrymore?
I do mean Drew Barrymore. Oh, crap.
Where'd Halle
Drew
Berry come from?
Barrymore.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
What do you-
It
why
was
is
the
Halle
berry.
Berry on your
I got my
mind?
berries mixed up.
He got his berries in a bind. I don't like that one.
But I
But
think it was the
before we
movie that they pulled
before we
with
start
her.
getting to those kind of talks and
yes.
memories, I got a list here.
Oh, okay.
From the Insider, insider.com. Do we like the Insider?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my
They're
God.
fine.
they're not outside of my scope.
I stuck
So
the landing.
These are 20 interesting things you probably didn't know about the Scream. It says movies, but it does focus a lot on the first movie.
Okay,
I do
good.
notice. So once it starts, if it starts digressing off into the other ones, I'll just not.
Right.
So let's see. Our first one on this list, Scream was born as a one-act play.
Whoa.
Really?
Really?
I can see a short story based on that first opening. I can see that.
That's kind of where it came from. The opening scene of Scream follows a killer stalking a young woman. We know this.
Yep.
In 2021 interview with Comic Book, screenwriter Kevin Williamson said he came up with the premise and wrote it as a one-act play. He considered shooting as a short film, but ultimately decided to flesh it out into a screenplay.
Wow.
Wow.
Good move. Holy cow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? That would still work.
It would. That would work really well as a play.
You did
Yes, it
always
would.
say you wanted to get into theater at some point.
Oh, I used to be big in theater. I want to get back. We could do Scream the musical.
I'm
No.
I'm sure that already exists. If not.
We'll do Shriek the musical.
No.
An original piece by
It's
Eric.
getting worse. Michael, next thing on the list, please.
Okay.
Do I have to keep the list? And then here's this one. Scream was a low-budget film, which we kind of
That's-
learned. And
Yeah.
that's relative still. It talks about who is this? Marco Beltrami. Anyone
Okay.
know who that composed? Oh, the orchestral composer. Okay. Said the film worked with a
Beltrami.
smaller budget. He said, I really didn't have the budget for a lot of things I wanted to do. At one point, he said Craven had to record whistles with string players and producers to complete a theme song.
Wow.
Every time I hear
Interesting.
the cue now, I can picture Wes standing back there whistling.
You know
I
what? You know what the sad thing is I don't remember any of the music because the only song that any type of music I associate with Scream is Red Right Hand, right?
Right. That's what I was just thinking. I was like, I can't think of any like the actual
No.
theme. Just,
But Red Right Hand by the Bad Seeds, that is the song that is
Yeah.
associated with Scream, at least in my mind.
No,
I do kind of have like a Dewey's little theme music motif that comes on every time he
Oh,
hits the screen.
Down, down.
Yeah, I remember that. That's
I do
something
remember that. Yeah.
Craven turned down the project more than once.
Wow.
Boy, he was
Really?
mistaken on that.
Yeah. I
Thank
wonder
God.
why.
Thank God.
By the end of the 90s, Craven was known as a master of horror, thanks to Nightmare on Elm Street, Last House on the Left, and Hills Have Eyes.
Did he think it was
was-
too campy, I wonder?
Probably. He was a logical choice to lead this project, though not the first. According to a 2015 Vulture interview with Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez and others were considered.
Woo! Scream directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Can
Now,
you imagine it directed by Quentin Tarantino?
He should be
The
really
whole,
tough.
whole house would have been coated in blood by the end of that. They'd have
I-
been opening up just fountains by
Yeah.
No
I
one
don't-
survived.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about Quentin, but Robert Rodriguez,
Yeah.
that would have been interesting. Robert Rodriguez can be a hell of a director when he wants to. I mean, From Dusk Till Dawn was good. He did
Oh, yeah.
Sin City, which was phenomenal.
Sin
That
City's
second
not
one,
good.
second one was not good, but
Unfortunately for the
Celery.
studio, Craven wanted to take a break from gore. According to a 2021 Hollywood Reporter interview with the film's writer and editors, he initially rejected the project because he thought it was too violent and dark.
Too violent.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
not
Oh,
exactly
because
what we
it was
thought.
what he was trying to get away from, I guess.
Yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
the direct opposite direction of what I thought. I thought it would be too slapstick. He's like, actually, it's too dark. I'm like,
Right.
oh, fuck
Yeah.
me.
It's like I don't want to be. I don't want that to be all I do.
Dude, your name is
Yeah, he turned it
Craven.
down twice.
Ooh,
Well, I'm
Turned down
glad
2
he
times.
picked it up.
Yeah. Seriously, me too. Because
But Robert Rodriguez film would have been interesting also.
It would
oh,
have.
yeah.
I probably wouldn't have been the phenomenon that it is.
What else
was-
would have What else would have Tarantino had around that time? He'd probably been busy.
96.
Yeah.
Was Kill Bill?
No, that was later.
later, yeah.
Was that
That-
Pulp Fiction era? Reservoir Dogs?
That's what I'm
maybe?
thinking. It's like Pulp
Could-
Fiction time, but I can't remember
Yeah.
when Pulp Fiction came out.
Be Pulp
One
Fiction.
moment. 94 Pulp Fiction came out, so
Okay.
just fresh off of that.
Just off of. So
So yeah, I guess that's why they would consider him for things. I mean, he was a hit at the time.
Yeah, oh yeah, seriously, he had definitely made his mark by then.
All right, and now
I like a lot of Quentin stuff. I don't like it all, but I like a lot of it.
Boy,
I just don't think it.
this would have been a very, very, very different movie.
It would have been a ridiculously different film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Drew Barrymore was supposed to play Sydney, but she chose Casey.
That was her decision?
Having your biggest star and the face on the poster killed off in the first 15 minutes of the film was unheard of.
I was going to say, that's a baller move on her choice.
Oh, yeah. That was the move. To me, that was the move that really put Scream on the map.
Boy,
that was her choice?
You know what?
Good God, good for her.
Yeah, I was going to say, boy, that makes me respect Drew Barrymore a little bit more than I did before.
Yeah.
There's a lot to respect with that.
I like her as an act. Santa Clarita Diet was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
man.
But yeah.
That's really putting the art before yourself.
It is. It
Seriously.
absolutely is. Damn, we could use a heavy dose of that.
No kidding. Wow. Highly respectable.
The credit for the twist goes to Barrymore herself. Quoted, in the horror film genre, my biggest pet peeve was that I always knew the main character was going to be slugging through at the end, but was going to... Well, I may have read that wrong. Hold on. Did I stroke? Going to be slugging through at the end, but was going to creak by and make it. She told host Sean Evans during the 2020 episode.
Hot Ones.
The Hot Ones.
Cool.
What I wanted to do is to take the comfort zone away, so I asked if I could be Casey Becker so that we would establish that the rule does not apply in this film.
God damn, good.
Man.
Good for her.
Yeah,
go, girl. God, holy shit.
That's some Alfred Hitchcock shit.
Holy
cow.
Because I don't even think they ever, I don't know what the trailers looked like at the time, but they probably focused on her a lot just for her to be killed off.
For the name? Yeah, right. Because she had the big name. That's what happened with Psycho.
Yep.
They did the same thing with the actress. She was the star of the movie in all of the advertising and the marketing. And then when she died off halfway through the film, it was that same thing. That's just a baller move.
It is.
Holy cow. Way to go.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about what Barrymore messed up.
Oh, no.
Barrymore accidentally called the police while filming.
Oops.
While filming the opening scene, Barrymore was given a phone that was connected to a real landline.
Oh, so she for real dialed 911.
During take, she accidentally dialed 911 for real, unaware that she was calling and hanging up on the local police dispatcher.
Oh my
God.
So not only picking it up, she's hanging up on it without even thinking about it.
Oh gosh. Well, what was the prop master doing? No one thought to be like, "Hey, this is also a real phone."
In a 2011 documentary, Still Screaming, prop master J.P. Jones recalled they realized their mistake when the police called the set.
Like, hey, motherfuckers, what's going on out there? You gonna kill this lady or what?
We're tired of her calling us.
She keeps getting away. How bad are you?
And now, another Barrymore one. Wow, she is so popular. Craven used Barrymore's love of animals to get her to cry.
Oh, that's so sad.
What did they do?
Yeah, I'll say trigger warning because it even says it here.
Oh,
Animal
okay.
abuse.
Trigger warning for animal abuse. Okay.
Maybe skip forward 30.
Get just on with it.
30 seconds.
Fine. In the Scream DVD commentary, Craven said that Barrymore's performance in the film is the result of her putting an enormous amount of trust in me. Before filming, she cried while telling the director about a story in the newspaper that involved a dog being set on fire by its owner.
Oh,
Jesus.
So, quoting, "I'm lighting the match" became the trigger to get her to have the same emotional response on camera.
Whoa.
Come on, Drew. I need you to cry. Drew, I'm going to light this motherfucker on fire if you don't cry, bitch. I got the light. It's right here. John Wick got nothing on me, motherfucker.
What is it
Right.
with this strange quest for authentic tears that just
because you
Did you
can tell
watch-
when they're fake.
Yeah, did you watch the Amber Heard trial?
Oh.
Listen, there are better actors out there.
There
that
are.
can pull it off. A little bit of fucking eye drops and some acting will go a long way.
But our
Jesus.
best performances come from those method type acting.
It really does. It really does.
Arguable.
Because it's not acting. They're just really doing that shit.
Exactly. That's the whole method argument, which I will not get. I do not approve of too much of that myself. But anyway.
You're a purist.
I'm 50-50. I think if it's so far beyond your norm that the only way to get there is to kind of envelop yourself into it. I can understand that.
Right, but I just
You got to also think about like the most emotional distress they're putting on themselves too
Mm-hmm.
at that point. Because I know I helped with this film and they were doing a ADR. They needed this girl like to cry for the ADR, and she was off in a room by herself. And when she was ready, one of the guys came out and said, "Okay, she's ready." And so when she comes in, nobody say a word. She's go walk up to the microphone and just do her crying. So she got herself like in a mental, boy, was it gasping air type of crying too. My boy, she was upset when she came out.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
No one said a word. It was uncomfortable, but we got the recording, I guess.
Yeah, well, and that's great. She was digging into herself for that performance,
Yeah.
not that outside. Yeah.
Even every late night sneaking uncle is a silver lining, kids.
Oh God. No.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Excuse me?
So Courtney Cox had to convince Craven to let her be in the film.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh boy.
Why?
Wes wasn't really big on making good decisions this kind of run, was he? I mean, thank God, like the stars aligned, but boy, he was just messing all over the place.
I couldn't see anyone but Courtney Cox playing that role.
Playing
yeah.
Gail, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can, honestly, none of them. This was one where the casting is just on point the first time.
Yeah, that's very true. But like, what was he going for with the reporter then?
So at this point in her career, Cox had already made a name for herself on NBC's Friends and NBC's Family Ties.
Yeah.
According to a 2021 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, after hearing about the role of Gail, Cox wrote Craven a letter. She assured him that being a bitch wouldn't be a stretch at all. Playing such calculated characters. So he didn't think she could be a bitch.
Okay.
Monica is bitchy.
He didn't think she could pull it off.
Don't. No, Monica is bitchy. Have you seen the way she like gets after people when they're cleaning or like my kitchen?
I'm
like-
with Bailey on this one. Yeah.
She's bitchy.
Especially by comparison.
She's controlling and complaining, but I wouldn't say quite bitchy. I mean, she was kind of like backstabby and Scream. You know, she never played that kind of character.
Right, but
Yeah, there is a certain kind of slime that Gail brings though. That
true.
I
That's
have
different.
not watched enough Friends to be able to comment on this.
Well, I guess
conversation.
because
you don't- it's because you don't like sitcoms.
Nay. I like sitcoms. I actually think the first run of 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen is fucking hilarious.
That's true.
Facts.
So,
Well, you ever seen her in like Ace Ventura?
yeah.
I have no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I consider that kind of
Eisenhorn is a
type of-
man. Boy, you couldn't do that scene now. Can you imagine doing that scene where he's just screaming, "She's a man," while like vomiting and like putting a plunger to his mouth? Boy,
Oh yeah.
you'd be strung up from the Liberty Torch and set on fire.
Yeah, that's certainly dated now, isn't it?
It's not dated. It's fucking hilarious.
Speaking of animals, the voice on the other end of the phone is shared by an angry cartoon chimp.
Are you kidding me? Wait.
This is news to me.
He does not look like what I thought he would look like. The voice on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
In a 2015 interview with Fusion, voice actor Roger Jackson, go pull him up, Eric. Go get a look at him. Recalled getting hired as the temporary phone voice for the killer Ghostface in the first film. The producers liked his performance so much that they kept him in. He has since reprised the role in all the sequels and in the television series.
Wow.
Jackson has numerous other voice acting credits, but monkey villain Mojo Jojo.
Oh my
Cartoon
God,
Network's
he's
animated
Mojo
series.
Jojo.
Yep. Powerpuff Girls.
My
There it is.
past.
Oh my God.
My whole fucking
So the
childhood.
guy did
right there.
Mojo Jojo is the Scream voice.
You know
Wow.
the moment I think he nailed it is at the beginning with Drew Barrymore when she like hangs up on him and he calls again, obviously, and she answers and she goes, "Listen, asshole," and he goes, "No, you listen, you little bitch. You hang up again,
Yeah.
and I'll
Oh,
gut
yeah.
you like a fish."
Yeah.
He said that so fast and so angry that it just sold that right from the get go.
Yep.
That's also the first time the killer gets like vicious.
It's gripping. That alone like kind of lets that alone lets you know he means fucking business at that point. Like
Yeah.
that's why you're sitting in the theater right there.
Yeah, that was when he dropped that line at the very beginning. That definitely makes you sit up and take notice. There's some real rage behind that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And to help with the performances, Craven wouldn't let the cast meet the voice.
nope.
That was beautiful.
Cool.
I knew.
Yep.
I did know that.
Yeah.
When I knew.
You're having so many problems.
I'm getting attacked by every fucking thing in this house. The power of Christ compels
It-
you.
Wrong God.
Fuck.
Cultober looms.
Yeah, October's just apparently going to go shit all the way around.
Good thing we're recording this in August.
Yeah, but Bailey put up the fucking some of the Halloween decorations
did.
already
She
for
does.
this
did.
shit.
Already up.
I did.
We can't wait. We cannot wait.
No, yeah, there's no such thing as too early when it comes to October at this house.
Big facts. Boy, do you have a lot of pumpkins coming? Goodness.
So
Yeah, seriously.
No shit.
Yep. We're up to 4 or 5 now growing in our yard
Mhm.
from just seeds we had
No,
left.
We
in the
have
yard.
4 or 5 pumpkins. Like
Yes.
we have 10 plants
Yes.
that, and our yard's the size of is tiny.
Yeah.
And
But
you
it's-
guys haven't tended to it at all. You just kind of planted them down.
No.
And
let
whatever
it, let it
happens,
do its
happens.
thing. Just keeping it out of the neighbor's yard. That's it.
I am actively at this point trying to kill some of it off because it's just gotten so big.
Oh, don't do that.
What are we gonna do with it?
I mean, we've had to like prune parts of it like out of the sidewalk, like going into the street, like because we live in the middle of town, mind you. Like, I mean,
Yeah, we're
this
in a
is abnormal for people.
And just a whole half of the yard is just covered in
pumpkin vines.
Pumpkin vines.
It's
Yeah,
real.
last year when you did it, you only had one douchebag smash one of the pumpkins.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
didn't smash it.
He
He
cut-
cut the vine
Cut
off.
the vine off.
He like
Oh.
actually like
Oh, yeah,
put
that's right.
effort into it. It was
But
kind of disgusting.
but also what we have a tradition is every year we try to do more jack-o'-lanterns, and I
Yep.
think last year we got up to 12.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this year I would like to try to do a nice solid 15.
Ooh, yeah. And if we get
Woo.
a good number of pumpkins, maybe we could share like a picture. A
Yeah,
Cultober
yeah.
Picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would
For
join in that, but I
jack-o'-lanterns.
can't. I can't. Doing pumpkin carving, the smell of all that pumpkin just
Oh,
makes me
yeah.
nauseous.
Oh, I see.
He did
Makes
not
you
do
nauseous.
one last year. He
That's
was
true.
Yeah,
not.
I haven't
Yeah.
done one. I probably won't. Sorry.
Or if
Yeah,
you
but
wanna
you
draw
can
a design,
you can
I can
bring
do it
yeah
for you.
yeah draw
Yeah.
designs on them before we cut them. How's that?
Yeah.
No, I could probably do that.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. The mask was found during a location scout.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Nice.
Okay.
According to the Huffington Post, the only costume direction the screenplay included was the ghost mask killer.
Okay.
Interesting.
The filmmakers went through ideas, sketches, and models, but none of them worked. According to a 2015 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Wes Craven recalled touring a home they were considering for the film when producer spotted the mask
You're smarter than me.
draped. Yeah, I ain't going to try it. Marianne Madalena.
But you did try it.
See, you just tried
I
it.
did try.
Yeah.
Spotted the mask draped over a chair.
oh God.
Why was it there?
Fate.
In a 2020 interview with Scream Trilogy, Madalena recalled finding the perfect fit. She said, I ran downstairs with it and showed the team, and they did not share my enthusiasm.
Ah!
This is it.
Hey.
This is the one. Fuck
Sometimes
you.
when you know, and fuck everybody else. It
Right.
worked. Good for you.
They tried to sculpt others like it because they didn't own the original. Eventually, when those attempts fell short, they tracked down the Fun World mask and negotiated to include it in the film.
I
I
knew
bet-
it existed before the movie.
It did,
I
yeah.
knew it.
I
Okay.
bet Fun World was like, fucking yes, please.
Yeah, put it in a movie.
They can like it's like all we have to do is reprint like new labels for this mask that we have, and it's gonna sell like triple the amount.
Wow.
Yep.
I would love to know what their revenue bump was after that with
Oh
that
my
fucking
God.
costume.
because it's not a complicated design.
It is not.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's based off a painting. I can't remember what the painting's called.
Oh. Is it the
might be
Van
called
Gogh?
Scream, actually.
Yeah, I think it
I
actually
think
is.
It is.
Is
But-
it by Van Gogh?
I think so. What, Michael?
This one's not. I mean, it's related to the film, but
Mhm.
loosely. The Friday the 13th trivia question once earned Williamson free alcohol. In the Scream commentary, Williamson shares that one night at bar trivia, he stumped the audience with the question, what was the name of the killer in the original Friday the 13th?
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
The stakes were not as high as they were for Casey and her boyfriend Steve, but the question did win him a free drink and subsequently wound up in the screenplay.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool. Going back to our art history, it was Edvard
Edvard.
Munch. And it's
Edvard
called
Munch.
The Scream.
The Scream.
Fabulous.
And it's the one where he's like kind of a yellow guy. And
Yeah, and
Yep.
he's got a little bit of weight. Yeah, a little squiggle to him, and he's holding the sides of his face.
There we go.
Art history.
Sydney's address pays homage to Craven's filmography.
Really?
In the extended version of the scene where Sydney uses her computer to dial the police, she can be seen typing her home address, 34 Elm Street,
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Cool.
Cool. That's an
which is an
egg, I
Easter for the audience that maybe not know. What's that an Easter egg for?
think.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just
there
shocked.
are other
Well,
What was that?
I'm shocked they were able to dial 911 on the computer. Like, is that something you can do? Like, you can actually do that? Because I've seen that in movies before where, like, people have tried, like, to Skype 911 and...
I feel like you.
I'm sure you can
could.
now because you
But-
definitely now, but then it's probably a weird thing. I don't know.
I feel
Never
like
thought
you
about it
could
too
back
hard.
then,
I just accepted it.
because it's all on the phone line at that point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. Then it was just on the phone line. So,
it would make sense that you could at least make the connection.
yeah, weird.
Let us
Yeah,
know in the comments.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Tell
Yeah,
us.
please
Someone
do.
else,
Because I don't.
someone else research that because I don't care that much. I'll just accept it.
We'll
Yeah.
care more if you tell us, listener.
Yeah, the listener that
listener.
would do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Somebody
I
will
don't
do it.
think the rest of the listeners would do it.
We love
thi-
that one nerdy listener.
I think at least one of the listeners probably knows without having to look it up.
Ooh,
That's
that'd be
true.
cool. I would be impressed.
We
I-
are
yeah,
impressed by
that's
you,
fair.
nerdy listener. Come forward and comment.
There are other Craven references throughout the franchise. The whole franchise, huh?
The whole
Do I care about the whole
franchise.
franchise?
No, we absolutely do not care about the whole fucking franchise.
No.
Yeah, but now we're starting to get into like Scream 2 and stuff. So let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric, get us to the theme song.
Okay. Everybody, here's this year's Cultober bumper.
Welcome back, everybody.
Mm.
I know, right? So, first memories of Scream. I watched this when I was like 14.
Gypsy.
Why do you always do that when I'm talking, baby?
Oh, the cables. Oh my God, it's a massacre.
It's like when Godzilla's attacking the miniature city. Like,
She loves attacking the setup.
She
for sure.
does.
Okay, it's clear again.
Okay.
Wagging
I
your
know.
tail.
She's so happy.
Yeah,
You're
okay,
good
you
girl,
did
babe.
good.
She's so
right.
sweet.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Never mind the clear path the other way.
I know. So I first saw it when I was 14. So the movie was like 14 years old. So I was staying at a friend's house and they were like, Scream is like really scary because it could like happen in real life and everything. And I'm like, bullshit.
Ah.
So I watched it and everything, and it was the part on the telephone where that we were talking about, where he's like, "I'll cut you like a fish." That actually did freak me out, and like still draws my attention to this day.
You're like, huh? Oh.
Mhm. Mhm. What about you, Eric?
I think it was like in high school when I first saw this, and I definitely really like did not know how much of an homage to other horror movies, slasher films that this was, because really I wasn't into horror movies and slasher movies that much.
That makes sense.
At that time. Yeah, it really grew into it. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. Had to grow into it. But what stood out to me was the garage kill actually really fucking disturbed me. I know. And we'll get to it where I'm sure Ben will tell us.
I hate
what
that
he has-
one.
I know.
But
But
it's
boy,
the only weak spot in the entire film.
and it's the one that really fucked me up. That's the one that fucked me up when I first saw it.
Well,
I remember.
that's the thing. When you think about the film being satire, though, it kind of makes sense.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
it does, but nowhere else does that movie take that kind of a leap.
But yeah, so I didn't really. It took a few years before I realized what the movie really was. Which, honestly, I like it a lot more at this point than I did like when I was, some kid watching it like a teenager. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, yeah, you have to appreciate the nuances.
Yes.
Although, honestly, man, I really like it as just a straight up horror film. Like,
Oh,
if, you,
yeah.
if you choose to not indulge on, the satirical level, it's still good.
Oh yeah, for sure. So 96, I was about either 5 or 6. Well, when did it come out? What month did it come out? I guess.
Ooh.
Oh
That's
my
the
God,
question.
man, are you fucking for
Wow,
real?
Okay.
Well,
okay.
that determines if I was 5 or 6. That's all I'm saying.
December, motherfucker,
You
December.
could also go with 5 or 6.
My birthday's in December, so it probably came out when I was 6.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So this film, being that young,
December 18th. There.
oh nope, I was still 5.
Right. Eat
Oh
a
my
dick.
God.
Because my birthday's on the 20th, so I
What?
wasn't.
That's right. Oh, fuck. So it's damn it, where is it? So it was released on December 18th in Los Angeles, and then it went nationwide on December fucking 20th.
Oh my God. So you were 6. Okay. Jesus.
That's hysterical.
I still 5 or 6 would have cleared up a lot of.
Yeah, but you know what the motherfucker is it actually did matter.
That's what
You
got
didn't
Ben so
want it
fucked
to,
up on this
but-
right now.
As soon as he said, I turned on the 20th, I was like, fuck!
Oh, Cultober is coming for you, buddy.
Oh, God, and
gonna
I'm on
be a
every fucking one of these. This is going to be a long month. Oh, this is going to be a long month.
Yes, yes.
So being 6 years old, as we have learned.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
This film is pretty much just always a part of my life, really. Then at that age, because
Yep.
I wasn't watching too many films at 4 and 5. I can't, not that I would distinguish it anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's just always kind of been there. So I don't know if I have a first thought other than just always being.
Did you see it in theaters?
No,
Ugh.
the very first movie I ever seen in theaters was like Inspector Gadget or something. That was in a drive-in.
Woo!
Nice.
You saw Scream at 6 years old?
Oh
Yeah.
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 We're
That's probably-
Bailey, you'll learn that us men.
Oh,
These
no.
men that you're-
No.
these
Eric
men-
missed a lot of stuff, too.
I did.
No. Have you not learned anything through the past year and a half of Bailey's movie watching journey? I have not seen much. So
Which is so fucking awesome for me.
It's been a growing
Bailey didn't know
experience.
anything existed out of Teletubbies until she was 12.
that's
So-
true. That's accurate.
That explains the obsession with Tinky Winky.
Oh no!
Oh my
Because
God.
she's always, every time Teletubbies come up, she's like, what the fuck is with Tinky Winky? I'm
I
like,
just
"What is
want
the-"
to.
I'm like, what the fuck is with your what the fuck with Tinky Winky?
I just want to know. Okay. I just want to know why. Because the rest are Sunshine, Star,
Oh, I don't think they have that comprehensive of names, do they?
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Anyway, back to
Michael,
Scream.
take us back to where you were 6.
Just barely sick.
Just barely, yeah. The
Fresh, just picture a freshly
just-
sixed Michael. Oh, I fucked my own self up. Okay, go on.
A fresh NyQuil.
But yes, Bailey. I watched these kind of films when I was that young, so it does. Yeah,
That's
tracks.
awesome.
So did I. I mean, come on.
But because I didn't pay attention too much, so I didn't comprehend what's really going on. So
Right.
You
I
were
was too
6.
clueless to be corrupted by films because I didn't really get what was going on.
To be
I
corrupted.
guess so. Maybe I'd be
Michael.
desensitized since I was young. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
Yeah.
It didn't sink into me that he stabbed her in the chest with a knife. I was just like, she's dead. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I thought. I remember it not being significant in my brain though.
Huh.
Maybe that explains a lot, guys. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
I've
Maybe
just
it
always
does.
thought you were a bot.
Oh,
I mean, don't write it
No,
off.
he's just a little
why is that
tismy.
human
That's all.
leaking?
Just a little tismy. It's fine.
Go ahead, Bailey. Or no, it's
It's
Ben.
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 It's Ben's for sure.
Yeah. So I was 8 when this came out. I probably didn't see it till I was 10, maybe 10 or 11. But I had heard about it. One of my friends, his name was Kyle, saw it somehow when it came out. We were both very young, and he talked to me about it and was describing all this crazy shit. And it's funny looking back on how he told it then versus how it is.
Uh-huh.
He was telling me that at the end they were watching a movie about a possessed person or something, which it ends up being Halloween, right? So he had
Uh-huh.
not seen Halloween, so he didn't know what they were watching.
It was just his best interpretation.
And he said
of
that
it.
they that the kids started going crazy and started stabbing each other,
Huh.
which is kind of what happens, but
I mean,
A wee bit.
that's a way to interpret that.
it is.
Yeah.
But it's
Without understanding.
right. It just
at
very
his
clearly
age.
shows the kind of information gap that we were dealing with.
Yeah. But I mean, he's right. They were crazy.
They were, but I think somehow in his mind he thought maybe the film had done it
Right.
or something.
Oh, I see.
But-
okay.
But either way,
Cool.
I honestly couldn't tell you when I actually did see it, but I know it was a few years afterwards because it kind of loomed as this movie that, I had heard about but hadn't seen.
Huh.
And so I honestly couldn't tell you when I saw it, but I mean, I instantly loved it.
There were some good movies that came out in '96, guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just sitting here looking. You got Twister.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
that's a good
Twister's
one.
fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
and
You got the
Tornado.
Ghost in the Darkness.
Shut up. Ghost in the
Shut
Darkness.
up, Eric.
Hey, if you haven't seen Ghost in the Darkness, go check out our episode that we did on it, and then the Salvo Man-Eaters, and then go watch Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah.
Mars Attack came out.
Oh, we need to do Mars Attacks. That needs to be a cult film.
Oh, that'll be a fun one. Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Fuck yeah.
That's
Hey,
an
speaking
awesome
of Robert
one.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
the
he was doing that year. Yep.
And boy, one of my favorites growing up, The Frighteners.
Ooh, another
Oh.
good one. Michael J. Fox.
Jerry Maguire.
Wait,
I hadn't thought of that.
Bailey and Eric are looking at me like have either of you seen The Frighteners?
I've never seen The
I have
Frighteners.
seen it before. I have.
I think I just got a gasp out of Michael.
Actually, I can't believe we haven't where he can see ghosts.
yeah, no,
The guy
not
that-
with Jamie.
No, Michael J. Fox.
Oh, Michael J. Fox.
from Back to the Future.
No.
Ooh,
And it's got
that's a movie night.
Ace Levy
Yeah.
from the actor that played Ace Levy from Starship Troopers, the blonde, tall
No.
blonde guy.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that because I would remember Ace.
We will change this.
This
Motherfucker,
will be
how did
changed.
how did that happen? I swear to God, I've seen it within the past year.
Ben's like, how did that slip through the cracks?
It did because that's usually I love the Frighteners. That's a good one.
Matilda came out.
Oh, I love
Wow.
Matilda.
Yeah, I like Matilda too.
See, that's what I was watching instead of Scream.
Oh my God.
Hot take. I think Matilda could take 11.
Oh,
We're not.
Probably.
No.
Yes.
yeah.
No. We've never seen Matilda do anything like the amount of force it would take to flip a van like she did in the first season.
I don't
She
know.
flew a person around the room without.
She
just
flew
her eyes.
That is not the same.
And she can do multiple things at once, like multiple
Facts.
objects,
Big
like
facts.
Yeah.
rooms full of objects.
But
I think
I'm-
she could overwhelm 11.
I mean, just imagine like throwing bricks at 11. Like,
Yeah. Okay. We'll pretend that she can block a van coming at her at 50 mile an hour, but a tossed brick is going to do
She
something.
would do it. Matilda would do it without a bloody nose. That's
I'm
all I'm
not-
saying.
Okay.
that's true.
that
That's
ma-
straight fact.
so okay. That doesn't necessarily equal a win.
I mean, a whole swarm of shit.
Why are we doing this?
What 11's brain explodes since
No,
they're
I'm Michael. Fuck you for this.
I'm just saying she wouldn't be able to concentrate with all the shit that Matilda would be throwing at her.
They
She's
do have
gotta
to
focus.
concentrate,
Yeah,
like-
she's got to focus. I mean, to be fair, 11
Hap-
has manipulated more than one thing at once, like multiple things at once too. So
What were we at with Scream?
And that's when I
Who's-
killed them, Your Honor.
We was talking about Happy Gilmore coming out the same year as Scream.
Hey, I like Happy Gilmore.
Robin Williams and Jack came out the same
Oh,
year.
that's a good one.
Oh, Jack's so sad.
it is. It's a sad
The Cable Guy.
No,
Oh,
that's
wow.
a good one. You know, that's one that I'm surprised we haven't got a sequel to that I actually think you could do a sequel to and do it cool. What would a
Ooh.
character like Jim Carrey's The Cable Guy be like in a world that has the internet? Because remember what he did with cable? Imagine that with like an influencer or some shit.
Yeah.
There's rife
Independence
sequel
Day.
potential there. Well, I know you haven't seen Cable Guy.
Nope.
It's kind of funny, but strangely dark.
Yeah, it's like a weird dark comedy type
Yeah.
of thing. Independence Day came out the same year.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Romeo and Juliet.
With Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Oh,
sweet.
fabulous.
That's a wild one. Oh my gosh. That is a fucking crazy movie.
Ooh, Escape from L.A.
Oh, snap.
What none of these films have in common with what we're here for today is Scream, Ben. If you wouldn't mind getting us to the synopsis of this film real quick. now.
Sure. So we open up with Drew Barrymore. She is playing Casey
Casey.
Becker. There he is. I
Oh.
couldn't remember if it was a B or a P. Although now that I think about it, Casey Pecker probably wasn't going to be it, so I should have gone with the B. Oh well.
Oh, what a missed opportunity that was, though.
Casey Pecker pick up.
Shut up.
Nope.
Anyway,
nope.
Casey's making popcorn and she's going to watch herself a scary movie when she gets a phone call by a stranger. This stranger has a sexy voice and strange intentions. Not really. He's kind of a
Ooh.
creep and he yells and he ends up. So he calls her and he's coy with it at first, like, oh, who's this? I must have dialed the wrong number. So she hangs up after, politely telling him to go away, kind of. And he calls back and she's like, well, if you called the wrong number, why'd you call again? And so he tries to talk to her some more and she kind of shrugs him off and hangs up. And then he calls again and she gets pissed off and she says, listen, asshole. And he goes, no, you listen, you little bitch. And that's when this movie takes a very serious turn. Because that's
I
when
wonder
he's
how chilling that moment was for people the first time hearing that snap in that moment.
Yeah.
chilling for them. So the movie kept him separate from the cast. So I bet it was chilling for her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
True, true.
Very true.
So
Yeah, I wonder how much of that was actually scripted. Actually, that whole interaction.
Oh, I'm sure it probably was scripted, but I mean, reading it on a page isn't the same as having somebody yell it at you, especially when they have a voice like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
And
But
he's like, if you hang up on me again, I'm gonna gut you like a fish, which is not a line that you hear very often.
No.
She finds out that he has kidnapped her boyfriend, Stu. No,
Steve.
Steve, not Stu. Stu
Steve.
comes in later. And he's got the dude strapped to a porch chair, and he asked her a question about horror movies because she said she was watching horror movies. And he asked her, what was the name of the killer in Friday the 13th? Casey, unfortunately, she answers Jason Voorhees, which is kind of a trick question, but not really, because it's actually Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mother for the first film.
Scary thing about that, is that I probably would have gotten that wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would have just gone with Jason and then.
So if you watch enough horror movies where the serial killer's toying with their victims, like Wolf Creek, you have to be real literal with these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Am I thinking of something else, or was it in this, obviously before he said he's going to gut her like a fish, wasn't there a part where she was being kind of flirty over the phone with him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
She said she didn't have a boyfriend.
Yeah, at first until he got weird. And they were talking about horror, asked what movies she was watching.
Yeah.
So is that kind of a glimpse of like what Stu is complaining about, her being kind of a hussy?
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
That's
but yes.
possible.
Never thought
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, most likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
All
interesting
spoiler
catch
alerts,
there.
obviously.
Yeah, we're not. So while we're going to be doing the synopsis, I wouldn't count this as linear order.
Right.
We're going to be.
Oh, no.
So Steve
Steve.
exits stage right, and actually kind of a really cool scene where he has her shut off the porch light and then turn it back on, and when she turns it back on, his guts are just like all over his lap and on the ground.
Yeah, so I mean, it's technically him exiting stage center. If you stage center and forward, if you
Thank
really
you,
want.
Michael. I appreciate that.
Eric appreciated it.
Eric,
I get this was started as a stage play, but no.
Which is still so cool to me. Just
Move us on, Ben,
Yes.
please.
I'm going to. So he asks her. He says, like, I have one more question to ask you. She's like, I don't want to play anymore. He's like, just one more. And if you get it right, you live. And he says, what door am I at? And that's Yep.
Yeah, some whatever stinger.
Yeah, yes. Insert horror stinger.
The sound of strings being scraped.
Yep.
He actually gets inside the house, so she goes outside the house. So they actually switch positions, which is interesting because she's now outside the house with the phone and he's inside the house. But they do something. They give two scenes of the killer in this. They're actually kind of cool. She's looking down the hallway once, and he just runs right across from room to room. And he's actually got the knife held up in the air so that she can see it clearly as he's running. Because there's no reason for you to run like that.
Right. Just knife held high over your head.
Yeah, except for he wanted her to see that. And then there's another time when she gets outside and he's inside. And she looks through the window and it actually shows him creeping through the house.
Oh, yeah.
And there's something, you would think that would provide you comfort, right? Because you're watching the killer, you know where he's at, you know what he's doing. And I've actually experienced this when I've played the game Dead by Daylight, which is an asymmetrical horror. It's first person if you're the serial killer, and then if you're one of the survivors, it's third person, so you have a different vantage point. And I've experienced this, that sometimes when I see the killer, I'm actually way more nervous.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it translated pretty well in this.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of, like, almost every time with, like, say, Michael or Jason, it's almost kind of a joke about him moving from point A to point B, right? Just there.
Yeah, they teleport, basically,
Right.
is kind of what the joke is. Yeah.
But there's something, I think, very unnerving about the fact that you're actually able to see the killer. It's kind of reminiscent to me about, like, the fin of the shark from Jaws.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it's there, but does that really make you feel better? Or does that just let you know that it's there?
Yeah.
I have the hiccups. God damn it. So Casey sees her parents coming up the driveway, and so she has a dumbass attack, and instead of running straight through the yard towards the car, because they have this really beautiful, long, windy-ass driveway, which seems to be a staple of Woodsboro.
Yeah.
Right.
And she creeps around the side of the house and he comes through a window at her and tackles her to the ground. He strangles her, She clocks him in the head with the phone and gets up and gets right within a dick's hair width of her parents.
Oh,
But she can't say anything because she was strangled. He's wrecked her voice, which I think is a very cool detail to keep in.
That was a good detail. Yeah.
You don't see that a lot in movies. People get like choked and then they break away from it and then it's like they're fine. It's like with a decent enough force, man, that can fuck up your larynx. Period.
And they used the realism to just make this scene like 10 times worse by just putting her within arm's reach of her parents.
Yep.
Damn it.
And then he comes up behind her and he just starts stabbing the shit out of her. And the whole time she's still holding her phone, the house phone, which is on.
Yeah.
So when the parents come home and they see that the popcorn is on fire because it was one of those stovetop ones.
Oh, yeah.
They can't find her. They pick up the phone to call 911 and they can hear the other end. If there are some of you who listen to us that have never had a landline,
you see,
This is
many
how it
moons
works, you
ago.
see?
no. Fuck you. I'm not explaining it.
I will explain.
No, we don't have time for that bullshit.
Oh, it'd be funny.
Do you know what
take
is-
on it though? That's funny.
Do you know what is terrifying though? Is like I am probably in the same boat as many people where that fear of not being able to scream when you are in danger or like being killed in this scenario comes from. I saw that scene at 14 and I was like, oh, fuck you.
Ugh.
Yeah, because you're always taught to scream for help. It's like, yeah, but
What if you can't?
Yeah.
right. And people always assume that it's like, well, I'll scream before they put the gag on me. It's like, no, what if your physical ability is damaged?
See,
Yeah,
and
just gone. What if you got Little Mermaid? You know?
right. It's a stressful thought.
Turned into seafoam?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm an asthmatic smoker, so like the thought of not being able to yell out has weighed heavy
Don't
on
worry,
my
Eric.
mind.
We'll hear you coughing. We'll come save you.
Maybe. I mean, eventually
My-
you just run out of the air.
Like my ass, though. See, that's the thing is you might not be able to cry out, but you got to rewind it further because you're a runner.
Oh, man.
So where Casey's like creeping around the side of the house, you would see their headlights in the distance. You'd be like, I can make that.
That's true. I am a sprinter and I'll go until I collapse, which won't be long, but it will be quick. Yes, you're right.
He's a very quick over short distances.
very, very fast. Yes.
Just playing further into the Adderall addicted gazelle.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
So you wouldn't be in that position because as soon as you saw the headlights, you'd just be running.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the faith. I think you're right.
Actually, I'll rewind it back further. I think you run the minute you get your feet into grass.
Yeah. Or pretty much probably as soon as he's like, listen, you little bitch, I'd be like, bye.
Hangs up the phone, walks
No,
to the
and
door,
even
gone.
Even if you were there that long, you'd be like, oh no, he's got my boyfriend Steve. I'm out.
Yeah.
He's distracted with Steve.
No, I legitimately,
Aw, poor Steve.
no, that's you.
Yeah, Michael, you would be the one
Oh.
strapped to the chair. I'm sorry.
No,
Project-
Michael's
You got gutted.
Michael's the one that would be abandoning the boyfriend.
Aw.
Sorry, Steve. You're my distraction. I'm out.
I don't know if you know this, Steve, but I'm a bit of a slut. So
I can easily find another Steve.
yeah,
There's
I
more
got
Steves in the
6
world.
cocks right behind you.
Oh,
pal.
no.
Bye, bitch.
Oh,
One
no.
that canceled right before you confirmed,
Boy.
just so you know.
Boy, that would be a hell of a way to like start the movie, right? Where the serial killer's just like, motherfucker, there she goes.
Yeah.
I'll be goddamn. Just,
Wow.
It might be too much, but I think I'd literally just pan to the killer standing next to Steve and be like, man, I'm sorry, buddy.
You're still going to die.
Yeah, this is gonna suck, but she's not even gonna be around to see it. Doesn't change my plans at all. But
Just like, ooh, even I think you deserved better.
yeah,
Oh.
let it be
I'll
known
make
that
it quick, actually, buddy. I'm going to make it quick.
Yeah. Like, may as well. There's no one to do it for anymore.
Yeah, so how tied to her were you really? And then he pulls out a little wedding ring. You're like, oof, I'm doing you a
No,
favor.
it would have been a mixtape.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my
A
God.
mixtape.
Yeah. It'll be
No.
there.
Anyway, they hear
she
Casey on the
goes.
line.
Yeah, so they hear Casey like
Her parents.
she's
Yep.
been stabbed multiple times, and her parents are hearing her kind of try to gasp and whimper on the other end of the line before you hear a really cool sound effect of like her being like a kind of choked. And I think it was her being because she's when you see her again, she has a noose. She's hanging from a tree, and I think
Yeah.
it was the jerk of the rope.
Oh, her being hoisted.
Yep.
Mm.
And then the line goes dead. So the dad has the mom run out to get it back into the car and go get help. And when they get out there, she's dangling from the front tree in front of them. Her intestines are spilling out. She's dead as fuck, thankfully.
Yeah.
I killed the star.
Sort of.
Yeah. That was the move. That was the move.
And that was Drew Barrymore's move. That brave actress.
Right. Yeah. God, I can't believe. I still can't. That director is very lucky that he had
Wes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wes is very
I
lucky
mean,
that
He's
man.
lucky he got the film, actually.
Right.
He
Yeah.
denied it twice.
That's true.
Boy, I wonder
Uh,
if it ever occurred to her just how much of a difference that probably made.
I would hope that she knows. I would hope that.
Boy.
I don't know. Because I'm sure that it's been talked about. Like just.
Yeah.
because this
switching
film was
roles
kind of
like
a turning point for like slasher film, wasn't it? Like horror slasher.
I feel like-
sort of.
I mean, I know it's playing satire to it also,
Right. Yeah.
but
It more became a turning point for comedy because we started getting, after the first Scream, we started getting inundated with those stupid comedy spoof movies.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Scary Movie, of course, being
Oh,
the first
yeah,
one. Then after
that's
that,
right.
it just went whole ham. I would say more comedies took from Scream than horror movies.
Boy, that's a good point. But I think it is fair to say, kind of to your point, Michael, that like even though it's like analyzing and deconstructing slashers, it still managed to do some stuff that was surprising.
Oh,
and
for
new.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just Hollywood has a track record of learning the wrong lessons. That's all.
yeah. So 3 things I want to bring up about this sequence
Ooh, okay.
where she died. Do any of you like that popcorn?
No.
Oh.
No.
I've never had it.
Stovetop.
The stovetop bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I think any stovetop I've had too is never buttered or salted. Like, it's just plain
Really?
popcorn.
Well,
Fucking
you got to add the butter and the salt. That-
Oh my god.
Okay, so that is what makes it better. It's just that it's not better enough than microwave popcorn. It's not worth the extra steps.
I
You know
guess
what I
I
mean?
had creamer in my coffee. Whatever.
Yeah, you put cream and sugar to your coffee.
Well,
Yeah, so
I mean, but
some
yeah.
things take a little extra, zing to preference.
This is coming from the guy that drinks his coffee black.
I mean, yeah, but that's for
But
simplicity.
he understands.
Yeah. Every now and again, I
Uh,
will when I add the sugar.
I refuse to believe that you can't do one of those packets with salt and butter in it.
One of the.
They probably is by now.
Probably.
Oh yeah, that is.
Well, it just
built in.
takes too
Yeah,
long.
Are you
It just
fucking
takes-
telling me that was an advancement they had to make in the mid 90s?
Listen, we are very spoiled because we have friends that worked at the movie theater, so we get like copious amounts of movie theater popcorn.
Oh Lord, like a bag, literally the size of a person.
Yeah, a fucking.
Yeah.
Oh.
And listen, that
So
stovetop
much.
takes way too long. I have a Keurig and an air fryer. I ain't got time for waste. Whatever.
You know what I bet you can do?
Convenience.
I bet you could put popcorn in the air fryer.
I don't think I want to try that.
Listen, if you have done popcorn in the air fryer or you know of how to do popcorn in the air fryer or if popcorn in the air fryer is a bad idea, comment below.
Oh, it'd be so funny if we got in the comments like, "Don't do that!" No.
No, you stupid bitch.
I'm not doing that because we have one air fryer. It was expensive and we didn't buy it. So
It was a gift.
That's how we managed to get one. We're broke
So-
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So the second thing I want to
Please
address,
subscribe.
how fucking rich is this family?
I mean, no more rich than the rest of Woodsboro, it would seem.
Listen, this is a
So-
very like uppity neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like I don't
So,
know.
it's a big house. and
Are
a
you
big
allowed
lawn.
to use that word uppity? You're from Georgia.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
What?
Yeah.
Is that a
I don't know, Bailey. I
I've
don't
just always thought of that. It's like here's the thing.
He's just
I've
tagging
always
on whatever Ben's going for.
Yeah, I was like, why are you actually examining this for logic?
I've just
Like,
always
wait,
thought
I
it was like a very preppy, like
It is.
sophisticated,
It's
like
relax.
fancy. Like, how dare you not
So-
wear your pearls to
So
dinner?
I'm not going to dive real deep into it, but the term uppity is often used from a person of a higher position when speaking about a person of a lower position
Uh,
who is mouthing off.
you're getting
Oh!
uppity, surf.
Or whatever prefix you want to add to the end of uppity.
Right.
Right. And there, you know what? There is something to be said to that. I can't remember what it was Tyler used to say, but he didn't realize it was like an actual like
we
slur
know what
term.
it is. We know what
Everybody
it
just froze. We're like, oh God.
It was a slur.
I told
Yeah,
you.
it was some kind of slur. I don't even think it was like.
Oh, don't out him.
Oh,
Whatever
that's
it
fine.
was.
Bailey yelled one out my window one time. She didn't know it was
Don't
a
out
slur.
Bailey either. And no, she didn't. She was innocent.
She wasn't.
No, I really did yell it out the
she
car
was
window.
innocent. She
So
had-
loud.
She didn't. Yeah, she was
So
innocent. She had
loud.
I
no-
didn't know what it. I
She
didn't
had-
know what it properly meant.
And I will say that I have been to several places where this particular slur is not tied to a person of any skin color or race. More tied
Just
to
some slur.
it's tied to an action. So I can get how you've not heard that in that context
Right.
before. But man, when you yelled that out my car window, woo,
You're like, Jesus.
Listen,
Bailey.
I learned 2 lessons that night.
man.
I learned 2 lessons that night. Or actually 3 lessons that night. The first one, I'm from the South living in Ohio, so I gotta be fucking careful.
It was funny.
The
though.
second
Not
one,
too careful. It's still Ohio.
the second one, I need to figure out what the meaning of some sayings are before I fucking say them.
Vocabulary is so important to life, kids.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then third,
God, it was funny though.
sometimes instead of assuming someone's a bitch, just assume they're stupid.
Yeah,
Like that's just a PSA.
I do enjoy the saying, "Never assume malice where stupidity will do."
Yeah. There you go. It keeps things
So-
simple and it's
Because trust
often
me,
right.
sometimes when I've been a bitch, it's been some of my stupidest fucking
But
moments.
anyway, we're gonna go back to the non-slurry stuff.
Sorry, guys.
And we're
Right,
we're gonna meet Sydney Prescott. Or did
Well,
you
I
have
wanna
a
address
you
my
had a
third
third thing? You had a third thing. That's right.
Do we ever get a reason for why Casey Becker was killed?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, sort of. You kind of said it. So Stu. So it's kind of a spoiler alert. Stu and Billy are the killers. There's 2 killers.
Gasp.
What?
Scream face.
I didn't know.
Don't hurt me.
I love
But
it.
anyway, so Stu has an airtight alibi for this, right? Tatum, played by the not crazy then Rosario Dawson, not Rosario Dawson, what is it?
Rosie.
Rose McGowan,
And her nipples.
and Rose McGowan's ever-present nipples.
Always co-starring cast right there.
at least in this movie. And we were discussing it had to be intentional.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think
Had
that was
to
definitely an
be.
intentional wardrobe choice.
But Stu, I dare say those were fake nipples. There's no way. She would be exhausted that hard that time.
All that extra blood flow.
Yeah, like, good God. Like, she'd fall
After I was
over.
like, man, these hurt. Just God.
It's like, what is happening? Yeah, that's got to be like something in the
Rose,
wardrobe or
are you
something.
okay? Let us know. Blink twice.
Yeah,
Did you?
It wasn't,
No, she's not okay. If you've seen any of her shit, now she's crazier than a shit house rat. But
but it wasn't anything like temperature or anything because that wasn't happening to anybody.
it was.
else.
It was
Yeah,
not.
that
It was
I
like
think
she
that
got
was a-
shocked when she was going through puberty, like a really high voltage of electricity, and it just stayed that way.
Jesus Christ. I wonder if it was the bra because she's very clearly wearing a bra and you can see it when she turns her back to the camera. So
Right.
I almost wonder if like it was padded and
So
then
what
they
they do?
had,
Just
like,
stick acorns in there or
mean,
something?
That'd be a
No,
pretty
like-
easy trick to pull off in a movie. Yeah, just put
that would be
something-
simple.
Acorn.
You could put like literally a
Acorns.
bottle nipple. Like
they just rubbed ice on the back of her neck before she went on camera.
Jesus.
Anyway, do you know any fun facts about how they got her nipples to stand out? Leave it in the comments section.
Why was Casey killed?
But anyway, Stu has an airtight alibi. Tatum says that he was with her all night.
Mhm.
more like in her all night.
And so it had to be Billy that killed her, which we can only assume that first of all, practice, there's that.
Right,
But also Stu does kind of allude that she was a slut. So
right.
she probably slept around on him.
Could very well have been, or
And
at least,
so-
yeah. And
With
that
Steve.
could, maybe
Oh,
there was some
yeah.
overlap. There might have been some overlap. But it's
Man.
like you pointed out earlier, she kind of, oh no, I don't have a boyfriend for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That might well have been that foreshadowing.
You whore. But
So it's probably a little bit of that then.
yeah,
Maybe.
So that's probably why she was killed.
But let's meet Sydney Prescott.
So Sydney is played by a very young Nev Campbell, and when we meet her, she is in her bedroom typing up a report. Probably, didn't look close enough. Don't really care. When her boyfriend Billy Loomis, who is played by Skeet Ulrich, in what I think is a role that he didn't get enough credit for.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a bad actor in this movie.
Oh,
Rose
yeah.
McGowan did great. Matthew Lillard did great.
Yep.
Jamie Kennedy. I mean,
Yeah.
Everybody loved Randy, right?
Yeah.
So
Courtney Cox was
Courtney Cox,
Courtney
fantastic.
Cox was amazing.
and David Arquette both slayed Gail and Dewey.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's not a bad actor in this, but I feel like Skeet kind of got lost, and he did real. I think he played Billy really well.
Yeah.
So they have a conversation, and you find out that they were, as Billy puts it, they were at a PG-13 headed to a nice solid R rating when it came to their sex life. But after Sydney's mom was brutally raped and murdered, their sex life came to a halt. Shocked Pikachu face.
Yeah. I can't. I so want to insert that right there.
Shocked Pikachu. Oh no.
But
So she wants to remain a virgin. That whore.
Yeah. Terrible.
I don't, you know what? I don't think that is her motivation. I just think that she's damaged.
I think
Yeah.
she's fucking traumatized
Right.
right
She's
now.
in mourning.
Just
Yeah.
can't knows she won't be in the right headspace for that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so Billy lets it be known that he's not happy with it, but accepting.
Yeah.
I actually think Skeet does a pretty good job of making him sound like a desperate, horny male teenager without tipping him over into that dickhead realm in this scene.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah,
later
this
he goes full tilt bananas, but
Yeah.
but in this scene, you could have given people the false impression, or not the false impression, it would have been the right impression.
Right.
But you could have played your hand too soon, too early, very easily, I think.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Skeet, good job, buddy. And you meet Sydney's dad for whatever it's worth. He's a business guy who's got business shit, so he's going to be going on a business trip, and he's going to be gone. So forget him for most of this movie.
Yep.
And if she needs, on business, and if she needs him, he'll be staying at the Marriott that is at the airport in his usual room.
Business.
Yeah,
Businessing.
where he does business.
Where he business.
He businesses it up the whole time. The whole movie.
So
is
much
businessing
business.
it up.
So all of the business, you would be amazed at the amount of staples he goes through during his business.
Yeah, there are entire
And
deleted
paper clips.
scenes probably of just all the business.
And also, he has a love of jean jackets because he's wearing them in both scenes.
It's the 90s.
the
No,
Canadian
yeah,
tuxedo.
No, it was the 90s.
It's probably the same.
Canadian tuxedo.
You've never heard that?
No.
I think it's actually jean jacket, jeans, everything. You know.
The Canadian tuxedo.
Can we
Well,
just
I
have
mean,
a jean
everybody
party?
everybody knows that
Yeah.
jean jackets spell business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super-
let's have a jean party where we wear nothing but jeans, shoes, socks, and everything.
That would be
Oh,
cool.
That sounds like it will get uncomfortable eventually.
Michael,
Well, just wear like a skin suit underneath or something.
that's
Okay.
fine, but Michael, I insist you wear jean hazy pukes.
Hazy puke.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the male version of Daisy Dukes.
Oh, yeah. Will you do that, Michael, for Instagram?
No,
I'll do it for YouTube even. Let's go.
no.
Oh,
I'll do it for
snap.
Pornhub. Let's really go.
Oh, all right. We're going for it. Boy, this is
So-
going to be one hell of a fucking Cultober.
So anyway, Neil
Anyway.
busts in. Billy's hiding, and Sydney's trying to get him out of there for his business trip so he can go do
Business.
business.
So he can
business.
business somewhere
Yep,
else.
yep.
So he does, and then Billy
Kind of continues that conversation.
he
a little
does,
bit,
but
you
he directs it into a kind of a different.
know? Yeah.
He softens it up because by the time while he's hiding from her dad, he's had time to kind of evaluate where this conversation's going.
Let the
he-
hormones die down.
Yeah, well, yeah, and also because he's a psycho killer, he realizes he can't. He might be coming in a little too hot. and heavy.
yeah,
so
yeah,
so
he's
he
gotta cool
he uses a stuffed animal to kind of deflate the whole situation.
Yeah. Super
And,
cute.
and
What a
he,
nice guy.
Yeah. And so he goes to sneak back out, and she says, "Okay, will you settle for a solid PG-13?" And he says, "What's that?" And she flashes him. And because Wes Craven, this is one of the few times that
it's so cheeky.
the satire actually really comes through because the camera quickly whips over her shoulders so that you don't see shit.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
right over it. It's literally a PG-13 shot of it. Oh,
It is,
so funny.
That fourth wall gets broken a little bit.
Just a little bit.
which
Just
is
that
good
hint.
because
Yeah.
she's supposed to be a high schooler, but Nev Campbell looks young in this. So if they had showed him, I'd be like, "Whoa, uncomfortable."
Just a good move all around, Wes
It-
Craven.
It was, although for a long time I disagreed, but there becomes a time where your
sure.
actual age supersedes the age of the person on screen and becomes creepy.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to get the joke. You know?
Yeah, sure, yeah. And also,
this is one of those films like it took me years later to actually figure out what was going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But-
Seriously.
also there's Wild Things, so get your Nev Campbell fix on there.
There you go.
Nev
Yep.
Campbell and
Yep.
Denise
Facts.
Richards.
Yep. Just know what you're signing up for.
Yeah, it's a porno with an actual plot.
There you have it.
Yep. And it's got Bill Murray in it. No, he's not in any of the porno scenes.
I don't know if I'm relieved or disappointed.
Thank God.
Ben knows.
I can't. Tim Dillon was hard enough.
Cool.
I mean, that's so to speak.
So then,
I love it.
so then we
I
get
wanna-
to this.
Oh yeah, I
Go
want to
ahead.
go back to Billy Loomis. Was his last name kind of a nudge towards Dr.
Oh.
Loomis and
Was it?
Halloween?
Was that?
So that was John Carpenter, but I mean, maybe.
It could have been a nod.
Because
though.
they do use the Halloween movie.
Well, they do,
Oh,
and also,
Fuck me, you're right. They do.
and they also intentionally mix up their names because Tatum says, "Let's get out of here before I wind up the victim" in some Wes Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
I'll bet you that was it couldn't have not at least been like it had to be deliberate, right?
I'd never noticed
I
that
would
until we were
think.
just sitting here talking about it. And I'm like,
Boy,
wait a minute.
That's a good question. I'm kind of looking it up, but I probably won't
All right,
find
you go
anything on
ahead
it
and we'll
before-
move on to the
No.
next day at school.
So the next day at school, we meet the rest of our cast. We have Randy, played by Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, Jesus Christ. Jamie Kennedy. Randy is your nerd. He's a movie buff. He works at the movie rental place. This is the role that Jamie Foxx was basically
Kennedy.
Kennedy. God damn it.
We need to watch Back to the Future, apparently.
Future
That's
Eric
Michael.
can't say
That's
Oh.
Michael J. Fox.
Oopsie.
Jamie Foxx.
Stop helping.
There's too many foxes, man.
I'm sorry.
What does the fox say?
Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
Okay.
But Jamie,
Sorry, listener.
But
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is black, so I don't think it's his character.
no, Jamie Kennedy. This is the role that Jamie Kennedy basically became known by, right?
Either this or Malibu's Most Wanted.
Are you seriously going to try to make the argument that he became a bigger star off of Malibu's Most Wanted than he did off of Randy and Scream?
I know a lot of fans of Malibu's Most Wanted, so I don't know. When did Malibu's Most Wanted come out?
After the first Scream, I think it could have even been after the second one.
Oh, wow. Malibu's Most Wanted came out years later. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep, Scream.
Oh.
Malibu's Most Wanted came out like 2003, so
Right.
never mind me. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, I've run down the Loomis thing. I'm gonna jump in real quick with it because this is neat.
Okay.
You fucking would. Go
I
ahead.
would. I'm gonna. So it is a reference to Halloween, to the Loomis and Halloween, which is in turn a reference to a character with the last name of Loomis in Psycho. So this is third generation Loomis right there.
Ooh, fabulous.
Cool.
Yeah.
Look at that go.
So we meet Randy.
The cast of characters.
We
Yes.
meet Tatum, who is played by Rose McGowan and her nipples.
Mhm.
We have Matthew Lillard, who is Stu, Billy's best friend and mental deficient.
Yeah.
Just slightly.
Yeah. Right.
Who?
Stu.
Stu.
Matthew
Still
Lillard.
mental deficient?
A little.
I know it's a little hard to
I think
see
he's just
that,
a
isn't it,
bro.
Michael. Just a bro.
Well, I guess he is kind of manipulated a bit, isn't he, by Billy?
Not a bit. Like,
Oh yeah.
he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah, there probably is something there. You right.
Yeah, like, and it's not an act. You find, yeah,
No,
it's not an act.
he's a
It's part
moron.
of it. Yeah, it's part of his character.
But he's also dating Tatum.
Yeah.
And then is there anybody else?
Oh,
Oh,
Jim
yeah.
Carrey,
We meet Gail,
Gail.
played by Courtney Cox.
Oh yeah,
Gail is so Tatum is the bitchy best friend.
Yeah.
Stu is the dumb sidekick for Billy. Billy is the lovable but very horny boyfriend.
Yeah.
Gail is a reporter who's there
Yes.
reporting on the murders. She is a stone cold bitch.
yeah, through and through.
She doesn't care about anyone. She doesn't care about anything other than her own fame, and she verbally abuses the absolute dog shit out of her cameraman.
I know that poor guy.
Mhm.
She played a good bitch. She talked him into it.
Yep.
Right.
Just
Yep.
like, let me
And-
do it.
And his name was Kenny.
Kenny. Oh, see, I couldn't remember his name. I'm glad you did.
Oh yeah, his name was Kenny.
Yeah, and
Kenny.
they killed him, those bastards.
Oh my god,
They did.
they
Poor
killed
Kenny.
Poor Kitty who got killed.
Yes. Look at you. You got so many jokes today. Good. Good.
But anyway.
So Sydney goes home with Tatum because since her dad's out of town, she's going to go stay with Tatum.
Yeah,
during
but
this
let's
time.
not skip a really cool. There's a really cool scene. So when they're going
Oh.
when they're at school, right? They find out the school's actually closing down for curfew because of the killings.
Yeah.
And one of the students goes running through the hall wearing one of the Scream outfits. But it's very clearly one of the things that the Scream movies, at least the first two, I didn't pay attention enough I don't remember the third one enough because I don't care about the third one. I didn't watch the fourth one enough, and that last one was just so bad. I'm trying to scald it from memory with hot water. But you can easily tell the difference in the outfits between the killer's outfit and any other version of this outfit that's on screen. The fabric is a thicker, more weavy-esque type of fabric. It's got a more of a shine, like diamondish look to it.
Yeah.
The mask is much more like formed around the face. The ones they use that aren't those are actually really flat looking. And they're almost like they've been sat on.
Okay.
Whereas this one is much more form-fitted, and the jaw comes along the jawline and droops down.
Yeah.
But a student does run through the hallway with the outfit, and that leads to a cool scene where you find out that their principal is actually Henry Winkler, the guy that plays the Fonz.
Woo!
And he actually chews out these two delinquents.
Yep.
And he expels them.
Yep.
For making light of this kill.
Yeah. He's like absolutely disgusted with them.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like, you guys are you're not tolerating this at my school. Fuck you.
And,
yeah. Oh,
and
that's good.
so he expels them, and they're like, that's not fair. And he's like, he whips out this giant fucking pair of scissors.
Oh my God.
And he's like, you're right. That's not fair. What would be fair is to split you open, pull your guts out, and expose you like as the heartless little shits that you are. And I'm like, oh my God, get him, Henry. Go for it.
Like just literally threatening them with these scissors.
He's dragging the open scissors like down their shirt so much it's making like the ripping noise.
Yeah.
Like,
The
Mr.
sound
Winkler,
effect.
Relax.
I kind of wonder if they were trying to set up that maybe he might have been the killer.
I think, yeah. I do think they were trying to kind of sprinkle in some red herrings here and there.
Yeah.
But boy,
'Cause
looking
he's-
back on him, he's go on.
He's wearing the mask in the next scene.
Oh, that's right.
He does
try
put it on.
You're
Yeah.
right.
But even the scissors, like the ching noise that it made coming out, you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
He rips the scissors out and it makes that stereotypical, the snicked of the blade.
And Bailey, I think it was you who made a really good catch about that scene too, is that it was two kids in the office with him.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was two kids.
Foreshadowing the two killers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the scene. That's a scene that is a really good one. I would not skip that. It's a scene that's easily missed because none of the main characters are on screen. But for some reason, they just decided to have Henry Winkler, and he just slayed the shit out of that
I
role.
know. He was so boss in that role.
He showed up like it was just the right amount of over the top.
Right.
God love it. It was a good scene. But anyway, he does end up getting murdered.
Yep.
When it then cuts from that scene to them leaving the school, and Stu tells everybody that he's throwing a party at his house that night.
Well, yeah, because they closed school early even instead of curfew, didn't they?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And so he's letting everybody know there's a house party, and then it cuts back to the principal, and he's wearing the mask that the students had, and he's like being stupid and trying to scare himself in the mirror and stuff. And then he wanders around his office because there's some strange noises, and the killer's in the office, and he gets stabbed to death.
I love his reaction to getting stabbed too. Just like leaning back and shocked and yeah. That's so good. Brutally murdered principal.
It was yeah, that one was sad. I was like, oh, because I
know.
liked the principal so much.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he was killed either. Just,
I don't know.
I mean, there probably doesn't have to be a reason for each person being killed, but I just like to think there is.
They kind of make it seem like overall there is, don't they? It's not exactly wanton. I don't know. Maybe it's just to throw people off different trail. I don't know.
Oh, nope. Hold on. I'll get
You
my
got-
timeline
ooh.
fuckered. Because there's actually two scenes in the high school.
Okay.
There's the scene where they come in and we meet Gail, and Sydney punches Gail,
Yeah.
and they have all the police do all the interviews with the kids, and they don't go home yet.
Right.
Sydney then goes home and is home by herself because her dad's on business, and Tatum is supposed to be joining her for a movie night. Remember, they even say, like, we're going to get all the right moves because if you pause it just right, you can see Tom Cruise's dick, which is true. But the killer,
Which movie was that for our listeners?
all the right moves.
All the-
Is that the timeline?
It is, because I'll shore it up for you. So she's home by herself, and that's when the killer shows up, and Sydney gets away, but she does that where she flings open the front door and the mask is there, and it's Dewey holding the mask, and Billy shows up at the same time, and cell phone falls out of his pocket.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And that's when she stays with them, and then she gets the phone call. Remember, because Stewie comes running out of the fucking bedroom like an idiot. He's like,
Right.
hello.
Right, because she got the phone call too when she was there waiting by herself for Tatum to come pick her up or whatever.
Right, but after Billy went to, because they think that he's the killer, and
because he was there for that
because he was
moment.
there.
Right.
And when they check his cell phone, it turns out that he didn't make those calls to Sydney. So she falsely accused him.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Right.
But yeah, and then they go back to the school, because remember, she runs into Billy at the school, and he's had his fingerprints, and that's when they have the real big fight where he says, like, my mom left and she's not coming back. And Sydney says, your parents got divorced. Your mom's not lying in a ditch somewhere.
Right.
And then that's when, because it's 2 days later, it's after she gets attacked that they do the curfew. And then
Yeah, because she gets attacked in the bathroom.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
well,
But she escapes.
they're kind of coy with that, because the one in the bathroom doesn't have a knife, so we don't know if it's one of the students
Oh.
or if it's one of the actual killers.
Do we get a good look at the costume?
I'm
the
not
costume
sure.
Okay.
But anyway, that's when Stu says we're going to have a party at my place to celebrate the curfew.
Right.
And there's a couple of times in this movie. So after that, we meet, Dewey is Tatum's older brother. He's played by David Arquette. He's the lovable bumbly sheriff. They have that stupid little down, 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 down every time he comes on screen.
So to this point, there's only been Casey killed and the principal, but we don't even know the principal. Like the world doesn't know the principal's been killed yet somehow.
Correct. But Sydney's mom was killed. Now they think it's Cotton Weary at this point because Sydney claims it was him, but we're obviously finding out that that's not so true. Cotton Weary is actually played by Liev Schreiber, who is a fucking kick-ass actor, and he does get a quick cameo on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets a pretty cool appearance in Scream 2, and then they kill him off in the third one at the very beginning because they ran out of good ideas. But
Third one was not the charm.
Third one was not the charm, and then the fourth one was better than the third one, and then the fifth one decided to just put a bullet in its mouth. Just blow the back of the head of that franchise right off. Or at least
It's fine. We recovered since then.
It's so bad that I guess Nev Campbell's not coming back for the next one.
Wow.
Because she was like, I was fucking pointless in this one. Why the hell would I waste my time?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Boy, they didn't even get the main three like on screen at the same time. Like
They didn't do that with Star Wars either.
I know it's a common mistake that they're making.
It's not a
now.
mistake.
It's just
There's no way you do this. You don't have the original cast members on screen together, and it's a mistake.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but no.
yeah.
No. It's a conscious choice that they're doing on purpose.
Mean.
But anyway, where are we at right now? They curfew. They're going through a party.
Well, yeah. So we get to the scenes where people are. We kind of get the most outside of drama scenes that we get. We get Stu and Billy and Randy in the movie store.
Yes.
Stu is talking to Randy. Randy is thoroughly convinced that Billy's the killer.
Yep.
Points out that he's standing in the horror section. But this is also because Randy has a pant-busting crush on Sydney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he was behind her and he fell forward, he'd break his dick.
Oh no.
Poor buddy. Poor buddy.
I know. Poor guy.
And
just an incredible amount
And
of
boy,
knowledge
they
on
really
horror
didn't help
movies.
in that scene. Billy did not help his case of trying to convince he wasn't the killer. Jesus.
He
You know?
really doesn't.
no,
know.
but I kind of, man, Skeet Ulrich has down that kind of psycho just on the edge thing.
Yeah.
Because like even when Randy goes off and he's like, everybody's a suspect as he's talking about Billy, he turns around and Billy's right behind him listening to this crazy nonsense. Billy gives him this look and he's like, what about you? How do we know that these movies didn't twist your sick mind? And even while he's accusing Randy of possibly being the killer, it comes off really sinister.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, that's one thing is especially watching back and knowing, you
Yeah.
really do pick up on how sinister his performance
But you
is.
notice it's not in front of Sydney.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You're
Yeah.
right. She wasn't there for that, was she?
Right.
No. Huh. Oh, that's a
Keeps
good
the illusion alive for her.
boy.
Yep. And he so he has that very specific look that he like tosses Randy, right? That kind of psycho look. He tosses it at Stu at school. When Stu's making that "live her alone" that joke,
Uh-huh.
Billy looks over at him and goes, "It's called tact, fuck rag." And he gives him this look, and Stu immediately stops making comments.
Oh, yeah. Shuts him right up.
Just a little nod that he's in control of Stu.
Yeah.
Yep. And that Stu's possibly getting a little too close to home for Billy's safety.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, don't you fucking blow this for us, man.
Right. Like, are you seriously saying this right now?
Yeah.
Of course, that'd be Eric. Anytime he has a chance to do a pun, leave her alone.
Yeah.
Did you put her liver in the mailbox? Because I heard you put her liver in the mailbox.
They just slip out. Daniel's worse than I am.
And then but while they're doing that, we see Tatum and Sydney and Dewey getting like groceries and stuff in this really unbelievable scene where it shows like Sydney and Tatum shopping, and they're getting, I think it's ice out of the cooler. And they close it, and in the reflection, we see the killer run between the aisles.
Yep.
And it's like, wait, nobody saw that? Really?
That would stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Especially because there's cops everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
With a sheriff's deputy escorting them around in uniform because he's in the store with them. Like he's just a couple paces ahead.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I really wouldn't have done that shot.
Yeah.
You didn't need it. You did. It just, I don't know. It just broke my suspension of disbelief.
Right.
It's one of two times this film does that. The other one's coming up. So we get to the party. Sydney shows up. She's a little nervous. She's asking if Billy's there, and he's like, no, he hasn't shown up yet. Randy's there. They're watching Halloween, and he's giving them all lectures about horror movies. Specifically, at this time, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tatum. See where I made that mistake?
Yes.
Aw.
Yep.
Tatum volunteers to go get more beer. So she goes out to the garage, and her headlights just grab
This is Randy's house, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's Stu's house.
Oh, it's Stu's house. Okay.
Stu's house.
Okay. Okay.
Because Stu says, like, I'm throwing a party. My parents are out of town.
Right.
And then I believe it's the third one. I think it's the third one. They go to the movie set of Woodsboro, and then there's some scenes that take place inside of that house, and they refer to it as Stu Mocker's parents' house.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So and hey, there I go. I stumbled on Stu's last name.
Oh, there we go.
Mocker.
It's Mocker.
It's just kept in the house box.
Yeah. But
Now, Eric, go see if that's an homage to something.
Oh shit. All right.
you don't
Go
know.
ahead, Ben.
Anyway, she's out there collecting beer when the killer shows up, and she actually is the one that names him because she says, "Don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel."
Oh, I want to be in the sequel. Damn
Well,
it.
she thought it was even Stu fucking around with her, didn't
so
she?
good.
I actually think it was Billy because I don't think Stu would have been able to get away from people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
So-
But that's what she thought, though. She was
Yeah,
like,
she did.
fuck,
She thought it was Stu.
go
messing
piss Sydney off, Stu. Get that?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
she sees that, she's going to have kittens. And he pulls her arm and slices it with a knife to show that he's not kidding. And then she throws some beer bottles at him and then tries to escape through the doggy door of the garage.
Which is logical.
It
I don't know what
is.
you have a problem with
Totally.
that.
And you know what? She would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for them headlights just scraping along the way. Actually, this whole thing is so ridiculous. I love this movie, but this part is ridiculous.
Yeah.
First of all, it's very clear that she's not stuck.
Yeah.
She could have fit through that door.
She'd already made it.
Her
Through.
her shoulders were through, which
Yeah.
means that
Oh,
you
yeah.
can get through.
Yeah.
Well, maybe her nipples were holding her up.
Just-
They were, but
kinda
not
hooked.
enough. Not enough. If that was actually what was happening, she would go through that door if it took her clothes and the top layer of her skin off.
Yeah.
yeah.
She's being chased by a guy with a knife who has gutted one of her friends in the past. She's getting through that door.
Yeah.
But instead she gets stuck and the killer presses the garage button. And unlike any garage that I have ever seen, not only does it not stop when it detects something in the way, but it's got the force and strength to lift her off the ground and then crush her between it and the house.
Yeah. Which I know it's the most ridiculous scene, but boy, that's the one when I saw it young enough and I ended up seeing that scene and it disturbed me, fucking disturbed the shit out of me. That was so scary to young Eric. Remember, I did not get into horror movies until later in life. But it's
just-
funny
it
to me
can't
that you think
It can't
I know,
happen.
and it's
Unless
funny to me
Stu's
that
parents were doing some mechanical fucking shit that they were not zoned for. I'll tell you fucking that. Like,
he rigged it up. It's like I know I know this woman. She's going to go through the doggy door and I'm going to get her.
This is how she dies.
But so he kills her, and then he goes back inside, and I believe we cut to Randy and them, and he's giving his famous rules lecture at this point, I believe.
Yes.
The rules that you need to know to survive a horror movie. I am not going to recite them here. You guys, if you guys haven't seen this movie and you don't know what we're talking about, this is, at least if you're not going to watch the movie, this is a scene you need to check out because it's pretty iconic in horror movies.
Yes.
And so
He pretty much lays out the rules that really the killers are trying to play by.
correct.
Yep.
Yes. And so we get a hint that Stu is actually one of the killers because he says, "I'll be right back," and he goes to go get some beer, and he goes into the garage where Tatum's what the hell was that?
No slacking.
Go on, Ben. Don't be
Pops up.
distracted.
Anyway, he goes into the garage where Tatum's body is hanging from the garage door. So very clearly he is one of the killers. But you wouldn't think of it. You wouldn't think about it if
Yeah,
you didn't already know.
they do it nonchalantly enough that
They do.
Yeah, it was nice and sneaky.
And Billy shows up, and Sydney basically says, like, let's go upstairs and talk. And then Dewey, of course, is there because he's watching over the kids. Gail shows up because she's sniffing for a crime, and she goes in and plants a hidden camera. And so Sydney's upstairs with Billy, and the news arrives to the party that the principal was found gutted and hanging from the football post. And so everybody's like, let's go over there before they cut him down. And they all take off clearing out.
Oh, fucking asshole.
I'd like to think I
teenagers.
wouldn't be that guy back in high school, but I probably would.
Okay, listen, I would go, but not with that attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My attitude would be more like that can't be right.
I'm not going to lie and say that I don't have that kind of morbid curiosity, but I would not feel good about it. Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't be fuck that guy.
I wonder how they heard about it. Like how that news got to the party.
So, well, it got there. They actually show Randy answering the house phone. And
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, who's on the phone?
who called?
Yeah.
Probably the police.
Or just
Why would they call
somebody
him?
else who...
Could've-
Grapevine, I guess.
Could have been Billy.
It could have been.
That's what I'm thinking.
One
Like,
of the
was it just
parents.
one of the killers starting to
Oh.
get people out of there?
Oh, I see. You're saying like the killers set up the news so that they could... which would explain why they killed the principal, if that was their plan anyway.
Yep.
Oh, neat.
And also, cool little detail is the two guys that are like, let's get over there before they cut him down are actually the two actors and the two guys that he expelled earlier in the movie.
Oh God.
Well, of course they want to go see that then.
Right.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Assholes.
Anyway,
So Billy and Sydney end up having sex. Dun dun dun. And then the killer jumps in and stabs Billy to death.
Yeah.
this
Right
is
there in
always
the
the
room.
thing I thought about even when I was younger, because she is at this time after they had sex, she gets the brilliant idea to ask who he called while he was in the police station.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, he said his dad, but she kept like poking holes in it. I can't remember like what he said, but she kept like poking holes in it.
Yeah.
Was that probably a time where he actually called Stu to say, hey, go do some shit?
Well, he might have called Stu, but he did not. The implication that she was trying to get at is that he called her, right? Because
Oh, yeah. That's what Jess was
Uh-huh.
like. You could have called me to try to throw me off the trail. Or
right,
something.
but they had a voice modulator
Right.
to change the voice that he would not have had in jail.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it had to be Stu calling her. However, Billy could have called Stu to have him do that.
Right.
But also, there's no guarantee. Just because you're allowed a single phone call doesn't mean you actually make it.
Right.
So who's
Right,
to say that
yeah.
he even did? And he might have very well called his dad.
Right.
There's no
Hard
reason.
to tell.
Yeah. So whoever he did call, he did not call Sydney because he
Mhm.
didn't have the voice app changer, and there's no way they would have allowed him to use it.
Right. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
no.
So they run off for the principal. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Right.
Get the house empty.
Yeah.
And then the killer, I'm trying to think how it all goes down. Okay, so Billy gets attacked, and
Yes.
Sydney runs out the front, completely forgetting drunk fucking Randy, who's laying there watching the movie
Yeah.
oh.
and yelling at the screen himself.
my
When
God.
she goes out and she sees the news van. Now Dewey and Gail are not there because somebody spotted a car down the road, and for some fucking reason,
Ugh.
Dewey decides to walk rather than just drive
Right.
down there.
So he and Gail have a nice little walk down to see the abandoned
Well,
vehicle.
I guess that was his, like, just wanting to be alone with Gail.
I know it
Yes,
was, but
it
like time and a
absolutely
place,
was.
motherfucker.
I know. Like, boy, he really liked her, but God. Do your job first. There are
Well, he's
kids
in her
at stake.
demographic.
Oh, that was such a sweet line.
I was 24 for a whole year.
Yep, that was a good one.
Yep.
That was a good one.
And the killer,
slick.
so the killer chases Sydney downstairs, but then stops when he sees Randy there. And we see through the camera
this is so good.
Gail planted that has a 5-minute delay on it.
Yep.
That
It's
the
in the
killer
house.
is standing there watching Randy, which is such a nerve-wracking scene because the whole time Randy's watching Halloween and Michael is sneaking up on somebody and Randy's sitting there going, they're behind you. Turn around. They're right behind you while the killer's just standing there watching him.
Yes, so good. Oh my God, I love
Like
that.
another fourth wall kind of moment.
Yes. Oh, that was so good.
And honestly, I'm surprised because it was Stu. I'm surprised he was able to keep his shit together.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I bet he was
Yeah, 'cause it was a little wild.
laughing. Just like, you fucking
Like,
idiot.
oh
Well-
yeah,
Well, I'm surprised he was able to not laugh like out loud because
Yeah.
Randy would have heard it.
yeah.
But anyway, they see the killer actually run outside and they turn around just in time for Kenny to get his throat slashed.
Oh, poor Kenny.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Sydney, so I'm
You
going to do
deserve better.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
he
going to
did.
do some jumping because it's a lot of the horror movie cat and mouse game at this point.
Right.
Killers after this person, killers after that person. When what we get into, we finally get all of our people. Dewey gets back to the house. He gets stabbed in the back and falls down. Now, he is actually dead. When they filmed this movie, Dewey is dead. Anytime
Right.
that you see him laying there or anytime Gail is on top of him, he is dead. It wasn't until after they had concluded filming that they decided to go back in and film him being carried out by the ambulance.
They
That-
put the whole movie together and they're like, we can't lose Dewey.
Correct.
Oh.
Wow.
So
Aw.
if you look at him, he's not breathing. He is dead.
Wow. And all for the love of Dewey.
Not for the love of
Yeah,
Dewey.
for him to be killed in the fifth one like a punk fucking bitch.
That really was upsetting. Like,
was-
that was mean. I would have rather they killed him off fucking screen than to do that to him. Because that was a fucked up move.
Yeah, because you had to make him functionally retarded for that to go down. There's no reason Dewey makes that type of fucking mistake after that long. He even calls it. He even says, you don't get that close to them.
Mm.
So.
I just don't know why
So
he takes
stupid.
his fucking gun off while he's walking up. Massive spoilers for Scream 5.
Why wouldn't you just
Don't
reload?
watch Scream 5 unless you love being lectured by people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
That movie really was just one giant lecture. It was fucking terrible.
Yep.
Eric was sitting there watching. He was in
I
disbelief.
I was insulted. I couldn't believe how fucking just on the nose they were about that. I don't want to. I didn't like it, and they need to step off their pedestal, and that's all that I'll say about
But
it.
that.
Yeah.
Right. So, but anyway, Dewey gets stabbed in the back and falls down, unconscious, but functionally dead. Gail gets, I honestly can't remember exactly how, but she gets knocked out on top of him.
Oh, yeah. She gets sucker punched and almost killed.
Right.
Yo, yeah.
But
Yep.
Sydney is at the front door and she's getting ready to go inside when Stu and Randy come running up to her, both of them claiming that the other is the killer. She says, fuck both of
Fuck
you.
you both.
Fuck you both. And she shuts and locks the door. And then just in time for Billy to come falling down the stairs, covered in blood. And
Yeah, blood.
Yeah.
yeah, it ends up being corn syrup, by the way. But he convinces her to give him Dewey's gun.
Yep.
And he lets Randy in. And it's a really cool scene because Randy's like, it's Stu. He's gone mad. And Billy just turns around and looks at him and quotes, I believe it's Psycho.
I believe you're right.
Where he says, we all go a little mad sometimes. And then
Yeah.
Yep.
and-
Just shoots
right.
him.
Yeah, but the cool thing is before he points the gun or anything, when he says we all go a little mad sometimes, Randy just goes, oh shit.
He
Oh,
knows
no.
because he's so immersed in the lore of horror movies.
He knew
knows. He
instantly.
knows.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he gets
Just
shot
like,
and he goes
son
down.
of a bitch. I called it too.
And so this is
Oh,
the
so
reveal
good.
that Billy and Stu are the two killers.
Yes.
And it turns out that Billy's motivation for being the killer is that Sydney's mom slept with his dad, which caused the divorce.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of get that.
Yeah, it's sure.
I'm not condoning, but I get it.
It's an
Especially for a
understand-
teenage kid that don't know how to deal with it.
Right. Yeah. It's at least a believable motivation. as
Oh,
opposed
yeah,
to
I
just
believe that
I
he-
shall be evil because I love the sight of blood.
Right. And
Yeah.
and Stu, honestly, he's just such a wet blanket that
Mm.
he
just got
Billy
pulled
convinced him that this was like a way to become famous.
in. Right. He was very much about the
Yeah,
glory
because he was
of it.
excited to come back for the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because these
Yep.
days, you gotta have a sequel.
Gotta have a sequel.
fuckers.
We're kind of lucky that they didn't start pulling shit like that.
What do you mean?
Like pulling back characters that were other than Dewey, but like, you know what I mean? Like they weren't like, oh no, Stu totally made it. You know?
No, dude. That's actually what everybody is thinking is going to be the shock of the next one.
Please,
Yeah.
dear God, no.
Well, that's what Tyler thought the last one was going to be. He's like, because we never seen Stu be dead. He probably just went away to like.
Yes,
some
we
mental-
fucking did.
Did we?
He got a TV dropped on him and then he got electrocuted. Yes, he's dead.
Maybe.
No.
If he is not dead, he cannot go around killing people
Okay.
like he once fucking did.
Okay,
Let's
Well, after
just
he recovered.
listen.
no, motherfucker.
Let me just address that argument right there. If he recovered somehow by the miracle of movie magic, it would have been mentioned. Realistically speaking, it would have been mentioned in
In
a
one of
movie
the other
prior.
movies?
Yes. That would be the most acceptable in
And
quotes.
at the bare
way to do
minimum,
it.
he would be blind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, be all scarred up and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be
And
all
then-
horrible.
Scarface, Ghostface.
And then let me even remove it one step further. Even if he managed to survive with his fucking eyes intact, Stu is not capable of planning. He's a retard. Duh.
He got electroshock therapy, though.
That is the
Fixed
entire
his brain.
that is the entire point of
Everywhere.
him in that movie is that he is too stupid to do this on his own.
I still would have supported Stu more than what we got in the last
I mean, yeah, because at least Dewey would have died by somebody connected to the original franchise and not one of these stupid fucking.
Oh God, he's turning bright purple.
one. Ben is no longer with us. It was nice.
I'm here.
He woke
It's
back up. It's
fine.
fine.
It
He
was
regained
just-
consciousness.
no.
He's back. He's a regular Dewey.
He came back for the sequel.
Oh yeah, he came back for the sequel. But anyway, Sydney ends up killing them both
Yep.
with a little help from Gail.
Yes.
Yes.
Gail comes to and she manages to distract them
Yep.
to give Sydney the time to get away.
Yep.
And she actually gets the gun
Over to Cindy, right?
over
Yeah,
to
in the
Sydney
fray.
at one
Yep.
point. And Randy wakes up.
Yeah.
We have that infamous scene where he's like, "Careful! This is the time where the supposedly dead killer comes back for one final scare." Billy almost sits
Sure
up,
enough.
yep, and then gets shot right in the head, and that's the end of it.
Yep.
And then they get out. They've escaped. We find out that Dewey's alive.
Yep.
Roll credits.
Yeah. What a screaming good time.
And they're
So
going
I
to go
guess-
back and say that Cotton was innocent. So that way he doesn't get, executed and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And everyone gets like a good ending.
Everyone who made it.
Everyone.
Did we
Yeah.
mention that they kidnapped Cindy's father?
No, because it's not really
Oh, yeah.
important.
Right. But yeah,
Yeah,
he was
really?
gonna-
Really? You didn't
Not
find that
anything.
important?
How
He
is-
was,
how is
well-
it important?
It's only important in that he was going to be the one they framed.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
That's all that makes it important.
Yeah.
Other than that, the dad
it
didn't really
doesn't
need to be in this
actually-
film.
Yeah.
That's true. He was off doing business things.
He was supposed to be off doing business. Yeah. Oh, which is kind of neat. Like Billy, at the very beginning of the movie, like he was there to hear that dad was going off on business. You know? So
Although he probably would have known that anyway.
I would hope so. Yeah. With how elaborate their plan was.
Well,
Yeah,
also
that's a good
Sydney
point.
would probably just tell him in
Oh yeah.
Kay's normal
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy, dad's got business the next couple of days.
Come over.
No, not come over.
Nope. Keep your business over there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Don't touch me there. That is my no-no square.
When I say we're watching a movie, I just mean we're watching a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sydney was the original no Netflix and chill. But
Right.
but this movie's awesome. This is one of those
Right.
ones that I never get tired of watching.
Mhm.
The Red Right Hand by the Bad Seeds is layered throughout it, which is a perfect song for this.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get into our takeaways. Eric, take us to the next bumper.
Let's get into it.
Oh.
You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?
All right. And we're back. Bailey. What?
If only the audience could hear the bumper
I
section.
know.
Why? It'd have been a big bass of nothing. Bailey, go ahead and lead us in.
I'm like, how do I do this? I don't know how to do this. I've made a lot of decisions. Okay.
Man, it's a good
It's
thing
okay.
she's not
Eric
a.
saved you.
It's a good thing
Yeah.
she's not a host on her own podcast or anything.
So who wants to give their
Right.
takeaways from
That's why we
this
have
film
Tyler.
first?
Ooh, yeah. Do
I
you-
will.
All right.
Go
there
for
we
it,
go.
babe.
So I fucking love this movie. It is everything, like it just goes to show you, like sometimes the bad boys, their dark and mysterious side, it just ain't worth it, girls and boys. I promise. Like it's awesome. It truly is awesome. And finding out more about it now as like I've gotten older and finding the different homages that it's given to other horror films, other classic horror films that I quite enjoy, and that really, I dare say, a lot of the movies that they pay homage to shaped the way that the horror movie culture
genre,
genre was really shaped. Yeah.
Genres.
So I think it pays a lot of good respect to that. It's funny in parts where it needs to be funny. It's actually scary in parts that it needs to be kind of scary. And when you first watch it, because I was
gotta
14,
rank it out of 5.
Out of 5, oh, I am gonna give it 5 Rose McGowan nipples.
Damn!
Wow.
Ben, you better go next so no one takes what you want to use.
that beats the 3 nipples from God, what was that? Fuck.
Oh yeah, y'all use nipples on something else too.
Oh, there was.
No,
was
I'm
there
thinking
3
of the
nipples
movie
on?
with
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Yes!
There it is.
Yep. Total Recall.
There it is.
Here we go.
Okay, so I mean, I'm gonna give it 4.5. 4.5 gutted principles out of 5. This movie, I mean, yeah, it's great. It's Wes Craven doing something that he doesn't usually do with the satire. It does it very well. The cast is phenomenal. Everybody's firing on all cylinders. Matthew Lillard's playing it to the hilt. So is Skeet Ulrich, Neve Campbell. Everybody's doing great. It's got some really cool cinematography in it. The shots, Casey Becker, when they run up to her body, it switches, it zooms back away from the mom up to the dad, and then it kind of flips, does like a POV, and then runs up to her.
Yeah.
That was a cool use of some cinematography there.
Yeah. That was a good catch, too, on your part. Like, it literally turns into him running. I hadn't noticed that until you mentioned it while we were watching it.
This is good stuff. The only reason why it's not a 5 out of 5 for me is that fucking garage door.
The dog door. Yeah.
That's just nonsense.
I knew that's why you was going to give it the 0.5.
It was.
But do you think that they did that purposely to be like some of these kills in horror movies are just
right.
not
It could
okay?
be kind of a commentary on the over the top.
Sure.
Kills.
That doesn't matter. Like, just because
I got you.
a joke meaning to be a joke has nothing to do with whether or not it lands.
I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
A lot of the other references don't break the reality of it. You're
Correct.
right.
This one was over the top, too over the top.
Yeah.
To me, it's still the same. It's the same as the killers moving through the aisle, right? Like the whole idea with that was to keep it in the mind that the killer is ever looming.
Yeah.
We didn't need it.
Right,
we
because
get
this
it.
film, even though it is satire, I don't think it leaned into as heavy as like what we did last year, The Faculty.
Oh,
no. The
Heavily
Faculty
into
definitely
satire.
was more on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So-
a good point.
So yeah, I do. I'm perfectly willing to acknowledge that they did it on purpose as a form of satire for the over the top kills. However, it just, in my opinion, doesn't work.
Just turns in the ding for it.
They could, if they wanted to do that, if they wanted to make a statement like that, they could have made the kill way more gruesome. Like make it to where like he's stabbing her, but she just won't fucking die because he's not hitting like the major organ. So he just has to like
just hits the garage door and
just make it to where he has to like just stab the shit out where he's just like Jesus fuck Christ, will you just die already?
Yeah. Get some what's that genre called? I think it's giallo.
What?
Italian.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, slasher where
Yeah,
it's very
turn her into Caesar, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like everybody gets a slice. Like where he's just like they kind of do that in the second one with Jada Pinkett Smith, which man, how many people have started watching that clip on rerun?
Probably Will Smith.
Oh my God. Can you imagine how many times he's probably jerked it to that scene? I would.
Oh no.
If I was stuck with that demon leech on my back, whew, I would. I'd be like, this is
Eric,
the
what
close
is
to brutal
yours?
murder that I can get to.
I was gonna throw it at you, Michael.
No, you go ahead. I'm
All
going to be
right.
extra on mine. It's
All
fine.
right,
Go ahead.
extra sounds good. I am going to give it 5 out of 5 news vans. There we go.
Jesus
I'm gonna have
fucking
just
Christ.
a lame. Yeah.
Wow, you really dug for that one.
I know. I couldn't think of anything clever. You guys took the good ones.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5, honestly, because I personally have gone on a journey with this. Oh,
How about 5 out of 5 ice cream licks because you really like that scene where Dewey was mirroring the Remember the police chief was smoking?
Smoking the cigarette, and he was, yes.
Flicking
Okay,
ice cream.
thank you, Ben.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
5 out of 5 Dewey ice cream cones, because first of all, little backstory, that scene was fucking hilarious. It was just like the hard-ass cop like sitting there smoking his cigarette, and at the same time, Dewey's there with his ice cream cone. They're having this serious conversation, and he's matching him hit for lick, man. It was just, so good. It's like, that is, yes, Dewey, that's definitely your cigarette, buddy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. 5 out of 5 Dewey ice cream cones. But because I had a bit of a journey with this movie. When I first saw it, it's like, this is just another horror movie, right? To me,
Right,
it was just,
sure.
slasher, people die. Oh gosh. But it's got, like, this movie's the definition to me of rewatch value. The film language going on in it is so well thought out and detailed that, like, you can just catch new things watching, which I did this time too.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
There's always more in there. Like, I know the address for Elm Street is hidden in there somewhere.
Mhm.
Just as one example of, I'm sure, many on-screen references that slipped my mind.
Which
or
I'm
that
going
I
to
didn't
get into
catch.
when it gets to me.
Awesome. One of the most brilliant things to me was after the killer reveal, they still had Halloween playing. And the soundtrack to Halloween was kind of matching what was going on in real life. Like, I think it was Cindy opening a door, and, you heard that little da from.
Yep. From when they thought the killer was going to be there.
And that was just something I'd never noticed before this time watching it, just how well that soundtrack matched what was happening.
Mhm.
It's just,
It was the closet scene.
it was.
They matched
yes,
the closet scene.
That's it. Yes. And,
Yeah, that was super
so
clever.
it's just a clever movie. And there we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Michael, lead us out.
Me.
Yeah.
So, I'm you all know I'm basic. So, and I'll
Basic.
grab the low hanging fruit. I'll give this 5 out of 5 ghost face masks.
Yep. There
That's
you go.
fine.
Yep. I wanted to try to do better than that, but I didn't.
I'm shocked no one did butcher knives.
So they actually don't use a butcher knife. They use a case XX buck knife, model extra large. I used to remember the number.
Oh, wow.
It's actually quite a popular hunting knife.
Wow.
And it's quite a good knife, actually.
Yeah, Bailey, dumbass. Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean it like that. Butcher knives is Michael Myers.
Listen, I look at a knife, it's a knife. It's a sharp knife, it's a sharp. It's a long knife, it's a long knife. Short knife. Okay.
I know, but this is the
And
stuff.
that's why you got Ben right there.
Yeah, I
That's
just say
why-
that's
yes.
the stuff that I pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because,
And just,
yes, Ben understands that.
and just know there's an emphasis on dumbass.
And how many of those knives was it? Or
Five.
masks?
5.
5. Oh.
Because, you bring up a good point. Because, to be real honest, I never paid attention to the ice cream cigarette bit, really, at all.
Yeah.
I just, so the rewatchability of this thing, just even now,
Yeah. You kind of want to go
just-
back and pay attention to that scene.
right? Because, and he
Yeah.
goes, what else are they putting in our face? And I'm just
Right.
like, I am not getting
I
it.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones that I never get tired of watching.
Right. Yeah.
It's even good for a background player.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You could sit down and just straight up watch it, or you could just have it playing and you'd be happy to come in at any moment of the film, really.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it the 5 out of 5 ghost face mask.
Nice.
So I got a question. Was there really only 4 people killed throughout this film?
What?
There's
So
got to
let-
be more.
So let's count them down.
Okay.
There's Stu.
Yep.
There's not Stu.
Well,
there's-
murdered by the murderers, I
Right.
guess is what
Okay.
I'm after.
So there's
Steve.
Steve.
Casey was first.
No, Steve
Oh,
was
yeah,
first.
Steve. I forgot
Steve, Casey, the principal.
Yep.
Tatum
And Kenny.
and Kenny.
Oh, yeah. Kenny did get it. So that's 5.
That's it.
Sydney's mom, although that's off screen.
Right. So
That's
give or
before
take.
the film. Even
So we're
really.
at 6.
6 if
Six
we're
if we're
including
counting
the
the mom.
Yeah.
So
Boy,
5.
Just felt like there was more kills for
It
some
really
reason.
did.
But I mean, if you look at like Friday the 13th,
True. They
It's like
probably
5
have
or
about the same
6.
amount.
yeah, it's not.
I think it's how they used the deaths. They weren't really cheap.
No,
they weren't blown off.
They spread them way out.
Yeah, they were spread out. They were impactful to the community. Yeah, They
had
made 'em
they had
feel-
lasting impact in the story.
right. Yeah.
So who
that
do we
might be
think?
why.
Who do we think killed Steve and Casey? We're thinking that's Billy.
It had to be Billy because Stu had Tatum said that Stu was with her all night.
Ah, yeah.
And-
There were so
What, you
technically 7 because Billy ended up killing Stu
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
On this, it says he killed
Yeah,
him.
because
fake stab. They're counting that as him.
No, because Sydney killed Stu by dropping a TV on his face.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like that finished.
Scream Wiki. Maybe
Well,
that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
right there.
Scream Wiki needs some editorial attention.
Who do we think killed Henry Winkler?
The principal.
Yeah,
I think that
So,
was Billy.
It had to be Billy because while the school was empty, Stu was walking with Tatum and Sydney. And the last time we see them leave, Stu is actually carrying Tatum over his shoulder, heading to their house for some fun. So it had to be Billy.
Once again, she's the alibi.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, by the way, they're doing some almost dancing down the sidewalk.
One thing that I noticed, I don't know how much interaction Matthew Lillard and Rose McGowan had, but on that scene where they're like interacting and walking down the sidewalk, like they're weaving out of each other's arms, they're like jumping on top of each other, like there's some coordinated, and they don't.
And it's all
skip
in one shot.
It's one shot, and they don't skip a beat.
Yeah.
So kudos to those two for pulling that off.
Right.
Yeah. It's really cool because at one point he like dips her and then she ends up over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And
they're still in the right place to mark where they're saying a line.
Yep.
You know,
and that's just good cast. Good cast.
So then we think Stu killed Tatum then?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
you think
no.
Stu or Billy? I think Billy killed Tatum. Honestly, I think Billy did most of the kills, and then Stu was just kind of there to kind of. Honestly, I think Billy would have used Stu as like the fallback. Like he did all this,
or like the alibi for.
Yeah.
You know,
Was
like
Billy with
So Billy,
Cindy
Stu killed Kenny.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Billy was upstairs faking death.
Because so far I have Billy with 1, 2, 3 kills.
Billy
That
was
makes
three
sense.
out of it.
Debating
That
who-
makes sense, though.
Well, is it 3 and 3 then? If you say there's okay, if we count the mom, because one of them had to kill the mom.
That was Billy. There's
That
no
was
way.
Billy.
There's
Oh
no
yeah, it
way.
definitely was Billy. You're
There's
right.
no way he would let Stu kill
You're
her.
absolutely right. Yeah, but
Yeah, he might just use Stu as a fucking wingman for the most part.
Yeah, just kind of support him and be the right kind of distraction when he needs.
Except for he definitely killed Kenny.
Yes.
Yeah, he had to kill
Yeah,
Kenny.
had to kill Kenny.
And he possibly killed Tatum.
Possibly. That one's up in the air, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's give it to Stu just for the sake of.
Yeah, at least
Add
make
him
it feel
to
like he
his list.
killed somebody.
Yeah.
Jeez, poor guy.
And if we're wrong, let us know.
Let us
in
know
the
how
comments.
we're wrong.
Yeah, let us know how we're wrong. Because the timeline of the killers is pretty interesting. I hadn't. Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to jump in. I'm kind of scrolling through an article,
Okay.
and it's like Easter eggs of Scream.
Nice.
Okay.
This movie like the reference Halloween like a lot
Well, yeah.
because what was it? Halloween and Laurie Strode and her babysitting charges are under attack from Boogeyman himself, Michael Myers. Laurie tries to protect the children because she has to go down to the neighbors. What's the name of the neighbors?
In Halloween.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's the McKenzies. I'll just see if y'all will remember.
Okay. No.
Because that's also who the dad at the beginning tells his wife, like, go down the road to the McKenzies.
Nice.
See, this kind of shit you could take forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the Linda Blair was in this, The Exorcist.
Who did she play?
She was like a reporter talking to Dewey.
Oh,
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a little cameo for sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
she was like,
I
That's
feel like
cool.
she's done that here and there, but I don't think she really stayed big in acting.
No.
Yeah.
She had a pretty big cameo in Supernatural.
She did. Yes, I remember that episode.
and Billy even references Blair's Scream, Scream Queen status because he drops the romantic line telling Sydney that watching The Exorcist made him think about her.
Which gross. I have questions.
Yeah.
At that point, Sydney, red flag, red flag, red flag. Like, why? Excuse, you're gonna have to explain that one.
It won't make it better.
No.
Then
Whatever
then
it
you
is.
mentioned, I think you mentioned Ben the Wes Carpenter flick line.
Yeah. Tatum says, let's get out of here before I get killed in some Wes Carpenter flick.
Henry Winkler's Fonzie jacket is in the closet.
Oh, sweet.
Really?
Yeah,
Love-
it sure is right there on the far left.
Love
got a
that.
picture from-
Oh.
Love that.
That's great.
Oh, of course, Freddy Krueger makes a cosplay Krueger's in the film.
The janitor.
Yeah.
And that's very apparent. Too.
Yeah. It's
I mean, you can't pull off that look without looking like Freddy.
When you know, you know.
Oh, man. And then Randy
it's-
correctly guesses the identity of both killers. That's not much
Yep.
of an Easter egg.
No, but it's a great point. He really does. Like I love his character because he's the one who just knows what's going on without knowing what's going on.
Yeah, but you know what I'm not hearing? Bailey's recognizing that the principal was talking to 2 students.
Oh, yeah. The foreshadowing from that office. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they show it to you right there in plain sight, and I didn't actually catch on to that until probably this past time that we watched
Right.
it.
I never caught on to that
And-
until you mentioned it.
And we only see
Yeah.
one of the students actually even doing anything.
Right. Which just adds to that. Nah, that was
that was a good catch.
yeah.
well, thank you.
Seriously.
You're welcome.
She's like,
This one feels like a stretch, but maybe not. Maybe y'all will correct me.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Because this is like a Stephen King reference
Okay.
to when the kids are running off to go see the principal in the goalpost.
Uh-huh.
One of them says "Hi ho, Silver." This line is uttered many times by Bill Dimbro, the protagonist of Stephen King's It, in reference to his silver bicycle.
Oh.
And Scream, it refers to a silver car. That feels like a stretch to me.
I'm going to call that a stretch.
Does the same guy saying hi ho silver have the silver car, or is it just in there in 2 different instances?
I'm sure it's the guy with the silver carts when they're running.
Yeah, a guy with
Okay.
the silver car.
Interesting.
I'm going to say that's a reach. I'm going to say they just said that because they're in a silver car.
Right.
I don't think it has anything to do with Stephen King.
Maybe. He was
Unlike-
kind of a horror,
I mean, not kinda, but
right, yeah.
Either way, I don't see it.
There is only one scene where Billy or Stu was really Ghostface.
What was that?
It's when we see Ghostface behind Randy while he is on the couch yelling at the TV.
oh,
Was it?
Oh.
It was Matthew Lillard, wasn't it?
Skeet was in the Ghostface costume. He
Really?
asked Wes Craven if he could fill in here.
Oh,
There
that's
was no
cool.
action required of the character in the scene.
That's cool.
nice.
So
Nice.
Skeet got to be there. That's
Yeah.
neat.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So that did answer a question I didn't really know that I had, because the character acting of Ghostface never really did feel like
It was one of them.
right. Yes. So, and that's probably some of why.
Yeah, and you can tell that there's a movie, and I'm going to spoil the shit out. It's called Cry Wolf.
Okay.
It's about this group of kids that ultimately ends up playing a prank on another student by pretending that there's a serial killer on campus. Turns out that they're all playing them.
Oh.
And there is no kill. Like, they're faking the kills. It's all this big thing. One of the students is Jared Padalecki.
Oh.
And when it's his turn to play the killer, it is very clearly Jared
Because
in that costume.
so fucking tall.
Yeah,
Oh.
yes, it is very clearly a Padalecki under there.
Man, he makes Jensen look short, and Jensen is fucking tall as fuck too.
Yeah, but Jared's there's a reason why they referred to him as Moose.
Because he could look one in the eye.
Anyway, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean, so Ghostface Killer does a lot of like falling and tripping and getting hit in the face with stuff.
Yeah.
Goes
that
through
role is
glass at one
practically
point.
all- yeah.
Like it's
almost all stunt work when we see him. It really is.
Yeah. Except for that scene where Skeet's like, "Hey, Wes, do you mind?"
Yeah.
I just have to stand here.
Cool.
Neat.
So
Yeah.
there were some lines that were ad libbed.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Skeet Ulrich was covered in so much fake blood the phone slipped out of his hand while filming a scene near the end of the movie and hit Matthew Lillard.
You hit me with a phone, Dick. Remember we were wondering if that was
you. You were like, I wonder if that was ad-lib.
Yes!
You straight called that out. Oh, hell yeah. This is why we should keep doing watch-alongs, because we'd have caught that shit on recording. Cool.
I
Neat.
did when we were watching. I'm like, man, that from Matthew, that just sounded so like legitimate. I was like, I wonder if that was ad libbed.
You did.
Yeah,
Called that
it
straight
sure
up.
was.
That's
Hit me with a phone, Dick. I love it.
Props to that motherfucking actor. He's so good.
God
Jesus.
bless you, Matthew.
Didn't break character at all.
No, he sure as
Man,
fuck didn't.
a lesser actor would have been like, well, fuck, we have to redo that.
That was fucking good for
Jeez.
him.
Seriously.
And good for Skeet for not breaking character either.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. That's the cardinal rule. You're in character until they say cut. A real
Right.
actor is in character until they say cut.
Yep. Then the exchange between Stu and Sydney was also ad libbed.
But
I always had a thing for you, Sid.
Sydney. That makes sense.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Bitch in your dreams. Yeah, that was just
That's
ad lib
great.
between them.
Yes.
Cool.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Man, Matthew Lillard's good at improv.
Yeah.
I wonder if we
Oh yeah.
looked at the Scooby Doo movies. I bet there's a lot of improv.
Oh,
from him
yeah. I'll
in there.
bet you're right. Yeah.
Not that I want to watch the first one. You know what? I love the second one. The second live action Scooby-Doo movie is fantastic.
You didn't like the first one? No, I liked the first one.
The second one was exactly what it needed to be. They brought all of the classic monsters for one big giant like hoorah. That's exactly what the first one should have been, because it should have been a one and done.
Fair enough.
But oh well.
Rose McGowan really could fit through the pet door.
I knew.
No
shit. Right. Yeah.
She had to be nailed in for her death scene and got bruises all over her body from hanging in the air in the door.
It wasn't worth it, honey.
Stupid scene through and through.
When Nev Campbell was cast as the lead, Rose McGowan dyed her hair blonde to set herself apart and get the role of her best friend Tatum Riley.
Cute.
Oh, so she
But
knew
yeah,
that.
she definitely could fit through there.
Yeah, oh,
there's
yeah,
No
yeah.
kidding.
Wow, had to nail her in. Jesus.
Yeah, that's about all
What about-
the neat things
Like,
that's
guys,
worth
if you have
mentioning.
to work that hard for it, maybe
Like, what's wrong with a harness and rig that? Like, don't
Probably-
use a real
probably
fucking
would-
garage.
probably.
Well,
be-
then we don't got the bruise story. All right.
you would probably be able to see it.
I guess. I think you could.
Well, they never show
they paint
her
those out
from
back
like they never show her from the inside of the garage. They only show her from the outside of the garage.
No, they show it from the inside.
Do they show her from the inside?
Nope.
Yeah, but there's angles they could have. Yeah. Okay.
There's
well,
ways you could have harnessed her up.
I absolutely believe that.
Or maybe
That's
just
nails.
change the fucking scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Ben's
coulda
like, you
stabbed
shouldn't have
her-
even had that problem to begin
you
with.
shouldn't have.
He could have stabbed her with some of the broken glass from the beer bottle.
He's
Boom.
got a
Or his
knife.
knife.
Or his knife.
Anyway, don't linger on the negative. This is an awesome movie.
Yeah,
It's an
seriously.
amazing
It
movie.
really is. Yeah.
Has anybody ever seen I Spit on Your Grave?
Yes.
No.
Which
No.
one? The There's
It's an
the old
obscure
one from-
reference apparently.
there's an old one from there's the original from like the 1970s, maybe early 80s. And then they did a reboot. I have one of them because somebody was giving it away. I think it might have been the new one. But yes, I have seen them. They
Right,
are-
so I'll just read this
they
paragraph
are
and see
rough.
if it lands then. If you've seen it, there's been a million people see it, so it's worth mentioning, I guess.
And if you haven't seen it, then you're on board with me and Bailey.
Right, there you
yeah,
go. So
I
why-
would guys
let's hear
don't go into that movie blind. I'm not one for trigger warnings or any of that nonsensical bullshit.
Yes, I will read this entire paragraph then.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
One of the more obscure horror referenced in Scream is Mir. What's the director's name? I guess
How the-
Mir Zachary.
Whatever, it's
You were
And-
supposed to know that.
Yeah,
Names are hard.
Yeah, infamous. I Spit on Your Grave. Mostly notable for its almost unendurable rape sequence. This video nasty is otherwise uninteresting, if uniquely unpleasant horror. Rose McGowan's doomed best friend Tatum name drops I Spit on Your Grave in one of the movie's more subtle horror movie nods when taunting a masked character who she doesn't yet realize is the killer.
Yeah,
So she just references it, but like you're supposed to know what it is.
yeah. I Spit on Your Grave is so the whole purpose of that film. I think my opinion, is you have something really, really horrible happen to somebody that you get the audience totally on board with them killing these people, but then you see if you can make it so twisted that the audience then starts turning against the person that's had the bad thing happen to them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's my opinion.
Right.
I don't know how true that is, but that's what it felt like.
That's what it felt like.
And those movies are a goddamn endurance race.
And
they're
then
rough.
just
Sounds a
know
little
there's
much
like
for me.
5 paragraphs
It
of
is.
like,
Yeah.
and just know there's a thing with 5 paragraphs from Screen Rant about how Henry Winkler's character wasn't supposed to die, but also why it changed. Just know that exists.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, I'm glad they killed him just because you needed a little padding.
Yeah, it was a good move. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd have been great to see him like continue in the franchise, kind
It
of like
would've.
Dewey did. But, you know.
Right. So Eric, take us out of here. Go.
Okay, everyone. This has been the very first episode of a long and spooky journey that you have before you, Cultober and all. I've been Eric.
I'm Ben.
I've been Bailey.
I've been Michael. Welcome to Cultober, everyone.
Fuck yeah. This is our second Cultober.
Second
Oh yeah, Cultober the Return.
The Return.
I think that's what Tyler called it.
This
I don't
time
know.
it's personal.
We got like there's things this month. People just
There's
stay
a lot
up
of
to date.
all
Yeah,
kinds of
follow,
things.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram,
Snapchat,
at Cult Talk Net.
Um,
Yeah, enjoy the month.
all the things. Yeah.
YouTube. Follow us on YouTube.
YouTube.
Hit the bell
Yes.
and subscribe and turn the bell onto all notifications because personalized sucks dick, but everybody already knows that. But make sure you do that because we need the subscriber count to actually rise. Views are good, subscribes are better.
Yeah. Thumbs up are also great, and we want comments.
Yeah, talk to us.
Talk to us, please.
We're usually nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you're a writer of one of these movies.
So have a great
As
day,
long as-
everyone.
Yeah. And we'll see you again real soon.
Happy Cultober!